Hello. How you doing? What's up? What's up? What's out there? Hi, Dyer. What's up? I like that icon with the little glasses and the reflection in the glasses. That's pretty cool. Usually it's just like black. It's cute. So what's up? What you doing? Hi, Peps. How's it going? So happy Saturday, everybody. While we wait for people to roll in. Let's see, what can we... So it's the first day of fall, right? We did celebrate. Hi, Casey. Back from the World War I air show. Oh, that had to be cool as hell. Hi, Pack Rat. I like that little icon too. Look at that little geeky, nerdy, bucktooth smiley emoticon. I like showing my age by calling it an emoticon. Have y'all seen the Emoji Movie? Hi, Shelly. You got some snow today? Damn, Pebs, where do you live? In Canada? If you've seen the Emoji Movie, like, they actually refer to the emoticons as the seniors, and they, like, show them, like shaking and walking around with a cane, like, get off my lawn! It's really cute. If you haven't seen the Emoji Movie, I actually would recommend it. It's not, like, great, but it's very freaking cute. It's damn cute. Oh, you do live in Canada. Okay. Then that makes sense. Hi, Bill. Bill, I have some sad news. I think my fish is dying. He's getting worse. He's not moving around at all. He's not eating. I am not really sure what to do with him at this point. And I think that the infection is... I noticed a spot, like the patch is over here above this gill, and I noticed a spot like right here above this eye that looks like it's starting. I'm not sure what to do with him. I don't know what else I can do for him, actually, other than take him to a vet, and I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm not sure what's going on with him. So anyway, I don't want to bring the room down, though, but yeah, I think my fish is not going to make it much longer, but we'll see. Anyway, so we're talking about movies. Yeah, if you haven't seen the Emoji Movie, I would recommend it at least once. It's frying. Leave it up to Saint to just be wrong. Yeah, I would definitely recommend it. Maybe just at least once see it. It's really cute. That's about the most I would say, but it's cute. Talking about movies, though, actually, David and I had our little date night last night, and we did watch 2 movies. We watched The Greatest Showman, and for somebody who does not like Looks Like It's Coming to His Time, I doubt there is much of it could do, as it seems to be an antibiotic-resistant infection. I don't know. I know, it's very sad. I don't know what to do with him. I should have done something when I first saw it. Maybe I could have fixed it. You know, I let it go. I noticed it, but I wasn't sure that it was something, and I should have done something when I first noticed something was different about him. So I don't know. He may not make it. Anyway, hi Jazzy, how you doing? So we watched The Greatest Showman last night, which I will say, let's put it this way, I hate musicals. Hi, I'm 16, what's up? Really hate musicals, like, can't deal at all, which is one of those things where I'm not exactly sure how David and I ended up married, because he loves them, right? But there's a few musicals out there that I can deal with, and I actually would put um, The Greatest Showman into the category of musicals I can tolerate, which basically means that it's on the par, to me at least, with Grease, most, not all, but most Disney movies. And I actually did really like Xanadu. I was a big Xanadu fan. I was very young too, though. I loved Xanadu. So yeah, he would like. I know he's a musical guy, you know. But I did like The Greatest Showman. I would recommend it. And then we watched the remake of Overboard. I don't know if any of you have seen that. Which we thought that was really cute and well done. If you remember, or if you saw the original was done in the late 80s, I think. It starred Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell, and it is about you put musicals in the same place as decaf. I generally do too, Saints. Like, I'm not. See, I'm gonna say I'm gonna end up saying something that's gonna piss somebody off here. I can't. No on Moulin Rouge. No on Chicago. No on Les Mis. Okay. No on West Side Story. No on. Well, to be fair, I don't think I've actually tried to watch Phantom of the Opera yet. But yeah. No, just no. The problem is the super strong antibiotics I usually use and would suggest can't be used with betas. Thank you for your help, though. Your help and advice has been like really, I'm seriously, like, I mean, I've had this guy for almost 2 years now, and your help and advice has been really helpful, and I'm like really grateful that you took the time to talk to me. So it's cool. I'm not even sure how long betas are supposed to live. I mean, I've had him for almost 2 years now, and I bought him from a pet store, and there's no telling how old he was when I got him. So, yeah. So, okay. Anyway, so I was talking about musicals that I can't handle. What else? David forced me into watching The Producers. Absolutely hell no. I hated every minute of it. Like, bitched and moaned and whined until, like, actually he didn't. I don't think he turned. Couldn't stand it. Could not stand it. I did make him turn Les Mis off, actually, because I couldn't deal. Like, I couldn't deal. Oh, I should just take this damn song out of the lineup because y'all hate it so much. But yeah, like Les Mis, like I know it's supposed to be like this huge, like everybody loves it. It's so powerful and emotional and everything, but hot damn, they never speak. Like ever. They never stop singing. I made it through about 15 minutes of that, and I'm like, I cannot handle this. You got to turn it off. I can't do it. I cannot do it. So yeah, don't do musicals. I get mad when David tricks me into watching them. Like, he won't tell me it's a musical before he puts it on, even though he knows it is. He swore up and down he did not know it was a musical, but that he suspected it was a musical. And I'm like, just don't lie to me about it. Like, don't try to trick me into it. That's like that's the part I can't deal with. It's like you lying, trying to trick me into it and shit. Les Mis is impressive to see in person for the technical aspect, as is Phantom, but even that is lost in some of the traveling shows. Well, I could see that dire thing. I could see where a live show would probably be more tolerable than the movie, than watching it on a movie. Because I know for a fact, like, I like to watch hockey in person, but I don't try to get me to sit down and watch it on TV. Who wants to do that? Look at that. Beta lifespan is usually 3 to 4 years, so he could actually be rather old. Like I said, there's no telling when how old he was when I got him, because I bought him from a pet store, you know, and he was just sitting on a shelf with about 20 other betas. So there's no telling how old he was. One of the reasons I picked him is because he was smaller than the others, and I was hoping that meant he was younger, because there was several others that were bigger than him, but he could have just been a runt, I suppose. So yeah, I've had him for, it'll be 2 years in January that I've had him, so. Hi, Brittany. Yeah, well, the thing is like, I can handle musicals when they're well placed, right? Like, one of the things about The Greatest Showman that we watched last night is that most of the musical numbers either happened when they wanted to sort of fast forward and transition, like, not fast, I would say fast forward, but when they wanted to make like transitions between scenes, or like fast forward several years or months or whatever, instead of taking the time to highlight that time, they just would sing a song and sort of just kind of bounce through the years or the months or however much time that wanted to lapse. And that was pretty cool. The rest of the songs, not the rest, there was like 2 songs that were misplaced where they just like started singing out of the blue, and I'm like, really? But the rest of the songs were actually performances, you know, because if you don't know what The Greatest Showman is about, it's basically about the life of P.T. Barnum, as in Barnum and Bailey's circus, right? So, and so like a lot of the performances were actually the songs that they would sing. And I mean, that was pretty cool. I can handle well-placed songs. If it's gotta be well-placed though. Gotta be well-placed. Okay, so Bill is asking, do you know how to make an alien? Or he's asking M16 how to make an alien. Or M16 is wanting to know how. Okay, aliens are very difficult. I've never tried it, okay, but this is basically how this works. Is that you make a Clapton. I think actually you're supposed to make a fused Clapton, and then you take that, you stretch it off. Like after you've Claptoned it, you take that Clapton wire and you stretch it out, and then you re-Clapton it. And if you get it just right. You have to get it just right, but it will wrap and it'll have this sort of wavy, the wrap around it will be kind of wavy. I've never done it, and I'm not even gonna try. You know, gotta leave that up to the professionals. It's not me. So, so yeah, aliens are super tricky. So that was that. Mixture of me already being in a bad mood at the time and having no real patience at the best of times. Fucking the first couple. Yeah, no, they take a lot of patience. The first assistant I had here was actually a friend of like David's best friend, and he was staying with us, and he was working here at Higgy Sig's in exchange for rent while he got on his feet, and he would sometimes, you know, experiment with coiling and stuff, right? So he bought like a bunch of coiling stuff, and he tried to make aliens, and this was like when aliens kind of first came out on the scene. And he tried, and I mean, he went through like a whole spool of like 36 gauge wire trying to make one, and he would get like a section maybe that big that worked, and then it would get all fucked up, and then it would start working again, and then there'd be like another section over here that was right, and then it would get fucked up. I mean, like, they're very tricky. Yeah, I would not, if you don't have patience, I would not try, because yeah, they're not easy. So, hello the Vape House, how you doing? Hi, Prim. What you doing? I have missed you. So, that was there's my input on movies. Okay, I was talking about Overboard. If you'd seen the movie Overboard in the 80s, it was Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn, and basically like Goldie Hawn is this like rich snobby bitch, and she hires Kurt Russell, this blue collar guy, to like build a closet, and then she doesn't like the closet, so she doesn't want to pay him for it, and he's all like, you better pay me for it, and so instead of paying him, she pushes him off her yacht and throws all his tools in the water. And then what happens is her husband, who's a real douchebag, well, she later finds her wedding ring is missing, and she goes up on deck looking for it, and she finds it sort of on the side, like behind some cushions or something, and they hit a wave, and she gets knocked off the boat, and she washes up on shore with amnesia. She has no idea who she is or where she came from or anything. So this blue collar guy that she stiffed decides to take her in and make her sort of an indentured servant to work off the money that he owes her. It's really fucked up premise, actually, when you think about it. Like, it's really fucked up. Like, you know, but I mean, they do it pretty comedically. And so then, you know, and I mean, I don't want to spoil it for you, but you know, it doesn't turn out as creepy as it sounds. So, this movie, this remake of it, where they swap the roles. The dude is this rich, spoiled brat who's a douchebag, and the girl is a blue collar worker just trying to make ends meet, and he's the one who falls off of his yacht and washes up, and she ends up taking him in to take care of her kids, and she says, bitch, it's true. It's a hell of a day at sea, sir. I know, right? It is the film Overboard, but they remade it with that's totally the film Overboard, but they remade it, but they swapped the roles. So, check my channel for a fairly dummy-proof. Oh, look at that. Dummy-proof alien tutorial. Awesome, Aries. That's cool. Yeah, check out Aries' channel, YouTube channel, for a dummy-proof, as he puts it, quoting by him, dummy-proof alien tutorial. That is one of the best lines from Kruger. Welcome to prime time, bitch. So, anyway, the remake is, like I said, they swapped roles. The guy is the rich snobby douche, and the girl is the blue collar worker. And like I said, he washes up on shore with amnesia. She takes him in, and kind of turns him into a blue collar guy. And yeah, absolutely, you'll always find a bigger dummy. So anyway, so the reviews on this movie were terrible. Like, well, sort of half and half, I guess. I mean, some people loved it, and a lot of people really didn't. David and I thought it was actually really cute. We thought it was really well done. There's enough little nods because it's in the same city. So, like, there's a little nod to the original, you know, like, oh no, there's only been one other case of amnesia here about 30 years ago. Pretty blonde woman, you know, that kind of thing. So it's, you know, it's cute. I would say definitely take the time if you happen to come across it on Netflix or elsewhere. Then, you know, not pay for it maybe, but, you know, if you want to see it, it's cute. It's very cute. So, oh, Vape House, have you seen it? Okay, so you thought it was cute too. That's cool. So that was our night last night. I was a little, I will say I was a little bit fired up earlier. I will not be disclosing any names or brands or anything like that. But I did have a kind of a discussion earlier about branding, about labeling. You know, I'm in a bit of a depressed place with the vaping industry. Now that you've heard the original, how did what you heard from me stack up? Oh, I I mean, I probably need to go back and listen to yours again, but I think they were great. I think it was great. I think you're great. I had no idea you could sing, dude. And like, I'm super impressed by that. I had no idea. Like, maybe you and David need to like duet or something. Or what was it? Somebody said that you and David and Vic need to like collaborate on something together. I think that would be fun too. I think that'd be really fun, actually, if you and David and Vic all collaborated on something. So, but I want to sort of put a plea out there, guys. Or actually, you know what? I want to ask you guys a question. And dude from, yeah, oh, FJ. That was right. She said FJ, Aries, and David. Yep, that was it. He'd be like lead, dude. I mean, FJ is amazing. Peach's roommate he's got the voice of an angel. Hi Panzer, what's up? So let me ask you guys a question. As far as, okay, you know the FDA has been really squawking. I'm not gonna, I want to say cracking down, because they really haven't started cracking down yet, and God willing, I hope that they do soon, because I'm so ready for this, right? I am ready to be put under the FDA microscope and them to say, yeah, you're cool, you know, like I'm that confident. I'm confident that I can be put under the FDA microscope as far as, you know, following regulations up to this point, okay? And they'll be like, yeah, okay, you're good. Now, how do I want to put this? They have been squawking a lot. Gottlieb specifically has been squawking a lot about this industry. All right, he keeps coming out and he's saying it. He's coming right out and saying, look, I have asked this industry time and time again to get their shit together, and they're not doing it. Okay. You know, which is kind of brilliant on his point, on his behalf, because, you know, when he regulates us out of business, you know, he's gonna be like, well, you know, they got only themselves to blame because they didn't take care of their shit. Thank you, Aries. And it's frustrating. It's frustrating that not everybody is on the same page, and it's frustrating that there are people who just don't think, you know, before they do something, even if it's a minor, you know. I mean, the major stuff is obviously just beyond stupid, okay? You know, you've got these people who mimic existing logos, mimic existing brands, and you know, they put cartoons and shit like that on their labels, and like, it's just like, what? Why are you doing that? Why do you not have a brain of your own to think with, right? That's my big thing. Why do you not have a brain of your own to think with? Okay, come up with your own damn logo, come up with your own damn look, you know, and be smart about it. But do you think, and here's my question. Here, I don't believe there's any course of action that would have led to a different result at this stage, or the FDA. You're probably right. But, all right, so let me ask you, here's my question to you guys. Do you believe that it is appropriate to have a product, any product, I don't care if it's a juice or mod or drip tip or whatever, okay, I don't care. Do you believe it is appropriate to have any product that is holiday themed? Any product. Do you think that would be an appropriate move? Got 2 for no. I mean, even if there's no cartoons, okay? No imitating anything, but it's still very clearly themed. Do you guys believe that that's appropriate? A couple more no's, 3 more no's. Every other age-restricted industry, it's down to the shop, not to sell to kids, but with vaping, it's the manufacturer's fault. Usual update. Well, yeah, I'll give you that one for every holiday, themed or named. Well, actually, both in this case, but themed. No, we'll just go with themed. Themed. It's very much a themed product. Okay. Now, I'm not saying like the flavor. Right? I'm not saying the flavor, Panzer, all right? I have flavors that are themed. I have pumpkin pie. I have Christmas spice. I have, you know, I have those flavors, okay? But my bottle, okay, when you order a bottle of pumpkin pie from me, it doesn't have like ghoulish font, like, you know, monster dripping and blood and shit on it, okay? It still looks like every other Higgy label you'll get, just haven't say pumpkin pie on it. I'm talking about the label, or even like, or a mod, or a tank or whatever. Do you believe that it should be themed? Companies do it all the time, but do you believe it's appropriate in this industry to have a theme, to have a holiday theme? Because what companies do it? Think about it. What companies do that? Food, candy, toys, clothes, you know, what industries have themed, that put out themed products? Dinner ladies, summer holiday range is screaming out at me. Yeah, holidays, I'm not talking about flavors. I'm not talking about the product itself. I'm talking about the labeling, right? Okay, now so here's my problem, is I came across a post today by somebody who is supposed to be super against all of this kid-friendly bullshit, okay? And they were pimping out a product that had a very, very clearly Halloween themed label. And apparently the flavor inside of it is like a pumpkin spice flavor, which I'm sure is great. Not ripping on the company or anything. But the label itself was extremely, I'm not saying any names. All right. So my brother sent you passport ID. Did you get it? Did you sign up for an account? Did you send it by email? How did you send it, M16? If I approve the account, if it came through the website, if it was sent by email, I'm gonna need to check and see, because I don't remember getting anything like that. So anyway, my point is that it was a Halloween. It was a very no themes in the e-cig industry. We are already under the micro. Thank you, Panzer. That's exactly what I feel about most effective lobbying efforts. End up defending even those industry members that they do not approve of. You felt the label skirted about a step and a half past the line, but that's the question at hand. Where? Yeah, I know, right? That's the line. Okay. And like I said, my problem is that this post was by somebody who is super, super, super against all of this kid-friendly shit, right? And then they post up this product. They're bolstering, advertising this product that is very, very clearly Halloween themed. Oh, then it's approved. I don't have any accounts pending that were not approved. So it should be approved. And so and that was the thing, is that I spoke up and said something about it, because at first I thought he was about to like attack this company. because that's what he does. He generally tends to attack the companies and labels that he doesn't feel are appropriate. And then I started reading the comments, and it turned out he was defending them. He said, well, there's no cartoons, there's no bubbly font. You know, he goes, yeah, it's colorful, but whatever. And I'm like, but it's Halloween themed. In my opinion, I mean, I don't think any e-liquid should have a holiday theme to it. You don't theme something unless you're trying to attract children to it. And Halloween, I think, is the worst one of them all. Halloween is a holiday about candy. It is a holiday for children. I mean, yes, adults enjoy Halloween. I'm not saying adults don't enjoy Halloween, but you're going to enjoy that pumpkin spice flavor just as much as you would whether or not it had a Halloween themed label on it, because you're an adult and you don't give a fuck, right? You don't see Marlboro or Newport putting out Halloween themed cigarettes, right? Why not? Because adults don't care. You know, they just don't care. And no, Halloween is not just for kids. I agree there. I would say theme your ass off, but then the Joe Camel example rears its ugly head. Well, that's just it though. Like, I just don't, okay, people will say, well, we don't know what the FDA wants. You know what the FDA wants? Look at a pack of cigarettes. Any pack of cigarettes. What do you see? You see a logo. You see maybe a geometric shape or background, right? And pertinent information. That's it. That's all you see. Okay? And they don't need any of that other crap on there. They don't need it, and it's so frustrating. I love Halloween as much as the next one. Like the T-Max juices, but do we want all bottles looking like T-Max? No, we don't want all bottles looking like. There is a way to do this. I mean, seriously, go to your local convenience store and look at their cigarette counter. All right, there are many very attractive boxes there. Okay, lots of them. There were cigarettes that I smoked simply because I thought the box was pretty. Right? There was a company called I don't even know if they're still around, and I don't know. St. Ives. It was a cigarette. Their boxes were super classy looking. Okay, they had the regulars had this deep maroon on the bottom and black on the top with like a gold band where the pop top flipped up, and the menthols were green and black, a dark green and black. They were like super classy. And I tried smoking them for a while just because I thought the box looked cool. All right. Had nothing to do with the cigarette itself. I just thought the box was super classy. Was it child friendly? No. Okay. It wasn't child friendly in the least. It was super simple. It was literally dark red on the bottom and black on top with a gold band around the middle. Right, you can't. Okay, I know you can't see the cigarettes in Canada because they're all hidden, but you can see them here, right? And if you go, like, if you see them in the convenience store, you can look at them all. Like, they're usually up, like, they have these big racks attached to like the ceiling, and they go like all the way. They're behind the counter. You can't get to them, right? You have to ask the clerk to get them for you. But they're all across like the back wall on these big racks, right? And they just pop out the bottom. They fill them up from the top and they pop out the bottom. But you can see there are plenty of extremely attractive, classy, simple designs that cigarette companies box their cigarettes in, okay? It doesn't have to be just, you know, thermal printed on a white label the way T-Max. T-Max does that because it's their no frills mills. That's what the whole premise of the line is. It's no frills, right? That means a no frills label, a no frills bottle, and no frills e-liquid, you know? Simple, classic flavors that aren't too terribly complicated. That's their shtick. That's what they do. I admire them for that, all right? How dare I? Specto, I apologize. Deeply apologize. I did not mean to direct you to a cigarette counter. But the next time you happen to be getting gas or a hot dog from your local convenience store, take a glance, if you would, and see that there are plenty of packaging up there that are not kid friendly and yet very classy and pretty. I wanted this. It didn't actually notice your camels after a few cartons. We had a friend and family pass away yesterday. Oh no, I'm so sorry, Shelley. Oh, I'm so sorry. My condolences to you. But in any case, my point is that I don't believe that there needs to be any holiday themes on anything. Because why? What's the purpose of a holiday theme? Okay, this bottle to me looked like every single Halloween themed bag of candy I'd ever bought. It had like a monster font on it that was like in green and had like a purple background. I didn't even look at it that close, but it was a very, very Halloween themed product. And I was very surprised that this person, who is usually so outspoken about these kind of things, was supporting it. And I just kind of wanted to get you guys' opinion on how you felt. Like, do you think that themed labels are appropriate? Oh no, Dolores. Oh gosh. Yeah, I wouldn't want to celebrate Christmas either. I'd turn it into you should celebrate Festivus. Yeah, I mean the font, like, yeah, and Aries is right. The font was okay. The font, it was the color theme, and it was the fact that it was extremely obviously Halloween themed. I mean, really, there's just all there is to it. It was Halloween themed. You know, it was designed to remind you of Halloween, and it looked to me, like I said, it basically looked like, you know, when you go to the store and you go to buy your Halloween candy, and you buy those big bags, and there's basically, they usually have like pumpkins and skeletons and like dripping something or another on it, you know, and like that's what it reminded me of. It reminded me of every bag of candy I'd ever bought around Halloween, and I was a little fired up about it. No, I'm not going to show you guys the label. I'm not even going to tell you what company it was. I'm not even going to tell you who it was that made the post. It's just like I said, all you need to know is that it was very, very obviously Halloween themed. The name of the juice was actually even a Halloween themed name. And I'm just like, how? Why is this necessary? It is not necessary. There are 1,000,002 ways to advertise a pumpkin spice flavor without putting a Halloween theme on it. You know? It just was so unnecessary. It was punny. Yes, it was punny. So I just kind of wanted your opinion on it. I wanted to see. I've seen a few like with just pictures. Yeah, see? Uncalled for. Uncalled for. Themed labels seem pointless to me, except Halloween ones, because Halloween is awesome. No. Okay, Christmas I think is even worse than well, no, I think Halloween is the worst. I was thinking about it earlier. I'm like, is there any holiday? Because I wanted to sort of step out of myself and I'd be like, okay, am I upset over this for the wrong reasons? You know? And I was like, is there any holiday theme that I would be okay with? And I'm like, no. You don't theme a product that's not supposed to be attractive to, you know, that's specifically supposed to not be attractive to children. Why would you theme it? Adults don't give a shit. Adults don't care if it's Halloween themed or Christmas themed. They're going to buy the juice that they like the taste of. They don't really care what the label looks like. Now, is this label going to be more eye-catching? Potentially. Is it going to get them more customers to try it? Potentially. But is it also going to look like something that a kid is going to be attracted to because it's Halloween themed? Definitely. you know? And that's what puts us all on this uneven playing ground that pisses me off. Oh, no, no, no. I didn't say adults didn't care about Halloween. I love Halloween. Okay? Halloween is probably my second favorite. I like New Year's is my favorite. Halloween is probably my second favorite holiday. I love Halloween. I think Halloween is awesome. I love dressing up for Halloween. I love going to Halloween parties. I love coming up with a costume. I love Halloween, okay? Totally love Halloween. I have a whole drawer full of Halloween costumes. I have witches and Cleopatras and oh no, I love Halloween. Was it last year? No, it's 2 years ago. 2 years ago Halloween, we went to Kentucky for District 4's Halloween party. And I dressed up as a peacock, and I dressed up my dog as a peacock. And I still didn't win, right? I was a peacock with a matching dog peacock, and they still gave the win to David, and he was dressed up as a devil. Whatever. But aren't they just for you and David? No, they're not just for me. David did win, and I was mad too. Like, Cassie, were you there? Did you at least vote for me? Because I was a peacock with a matching dog peacock. Like, how do you get better than that? I had a blue hair wig on. I had these big, like, angel wings that were peacock, feathered with peacocks. I had on this dress that was covered in peacock feathers. I had a hat on that had a peacock feather on it. I had a fan that was peacock feathers. Like, I was decked. I had on all this makeup, peacocky-like makeup. I was decked head to toe in blue peacock feathers, and I put a peacock costume on my dog. On my dog. Okay, she had on a little peacock costume, and she was adorable as fuck in it. Oh, what is this? Oh. Are those all clean? Holy crap. Aries just sent me a tub of, I guess, stuff that he's cleaned all his RDAs. And he took them out of his Sonic cleaner. And they're all shiny and new. That's awesome. No. She is fine with clothes. I did not. Now the costume came with a little dog outfit, and it had you can't see what I'm doing here. It had a little foam tail that popped up towards the tail, and it was fine. And she was fine with that. What she didn't like is the costume also came with a hat that you put over their head. You tied it under their chin, and it had a little peacock face on it. And I put that on her, and she just like stood there, and she just wouldn't move. She was all like, "I'm not having this." So I took the hat off of her. Like, she was not happy about the hat. But I left the body on her, and she was fine. It's still not right to dress a dog. Oh, she doesn't mind. She's not crazy about getting the clothes on. But once she has them on, she doesn't care. And then she gets mad when I go to take them off. Like, she's a little pissy about it, taking them off. Oh, no. This was very, very, very light. And it was in a climate-controlled environment, too. I would not have subjected her to any sort of... No. Like, the minute my dog starts to pant, I get upset and I start changing the thermostat. I'm like, she's too hot. Let's turn down the AC, or, not turn down the AC, but turn down the thermostat. Because I need to cool my dog off, and I, like, give her water and everything. Like, my dog never even pants. Because I freak out when she starts to pant. And I'm, like, doing everything I can to cool her down. Bill should dress his spiders in Santa outfits. I would pay to see that, actually. All the other dogs LOL at her. There were no other dogs there. She got tons of attention that night. She was like the star of the show. And she still lost the costume contest. What's up with that shit? We all love fur missiles. I absolutely. You guys know I love my dog. Like, love my dog. But I was, and she was actually very, she had recently been shaved too, Dolores. So she did not have her full fur coat on her at the time. So, no, I watch out for my girl. She, like I said, she rarely pants. So when she does, I like freak out and I'm like, how do I cool my dog down? So yeah. And sometimes like I try to cool her down. Like I know when I've taken her on trips before, especially in the summertime, it's really hot out, right? And I bring her in, you know, I bring her in the car and we have the AC going full blast and I make sure the vents are blowing directly on her so she doesn't get overheated. But she insists on cuddling with me. And I'm like, this is not helping you to cool down. Okay, because she wants to crawl up on my neck and she wants to curl up into my neck. And I'm like, this is only going to make you hotter. And she starts to pant. And I'm like, you know, and I'm trying to pull her down off my neck and make sure that the vents are blowing on her so she doesn't get overheated. And I'm, you know, keep, you know, holding water up to her so she has as much as she can to drink. And she's like, no, I want to cuddle with you, Mom. I'm like, this is not going to help your situation. Wow, Bits. Hi, Bam Bam. She is, and I can be a furnace too, actually. But and Vizgig does. Aries is always hot, right? He never cools down. His thermostat is just set super high, and he can't cool down no matter what he does. Okay, this is a man who walked out in a t-shirt and shorts in 17-degree weather and was fine with it. And we're all bundled up going, and he was all like, yeah, I've got to eat. But Fizzgig, when we were visiting, decided her favorite spot was going to be cuddled up next to Aries on his recliner. Now you have to understand, both of his chihuahuas together weigh about the same amount that Fizzgig does, okay? And Fizzgig had a lot more fur than the chihuahuas, right? She's a very fluffy dog. Plus I had not shaved her since it was wintertime, so she was really fluffy at the time. And yeah, she decided her favorite, she didn't want to be on the floor because the other two chihuahuas were constantly messing with her and they wanted to play with her, and she was all like, hell no, I'm not getting involved in this mess. So yeah, so she decided her favorite spot was to cuddle up next to Aries on the recliner. And he's all like, my God, she's hot. And she would not move. She was like, nope, I'm good right here. Thank you very much. Hi, Sloan. Okay, yeah, let's convert that 17 to Celsius. There you go. Negative 8.3 Celsius is what it was. 17 degrees Fahrenheit. Negative 8.3 Celsius. And it's cold. It's cold. Okay, so and I was going to say, welcome to the first day of fall. Hopefully, most of you, I'm not going to say most of you, but hopefully a lot of you are experiencing the joys of fall weather where it starts to get a little chill in the air, a little nip in the air, right? Maybe the leaves are starting to change for you. I know Peb said she got some snow up in Manitoba, which is awesome. It was in the 90s today here. There's a thing going around Facebook that says what happens in fall, like what fall in the South, right? And you see this woman get up out of bed and she's like, yay! And she goes to her closet and she pulls out her favorite fall shirt with long sleeves and a scarf, and she's like, yay! And she gets dressed and then she She throws away all of her other spices and replaces it with a big old canister of pumpkin spice. And then she pulls out her pumpkin spice candles and she lights them and she's like, ah. She sets it down on her table and she has her little pumpkin spice latte and she walks out the door and you hear like cicadas and crickets chirping and there's like two guys at the end of the sidewalk in like beachwear looking at her. And she starts to sweat and melt and she's all like, turns around, she goes back in, slams the door. Because it's fucking hot. I don't know what, let's see, you know what, let's see, what was the high today? Let's look, because we got into Mom's car to come here, and it said it was 99 degrees. Okay, it is currently 84 degrees here. It says it only got up to 89, but I don't think so. I think it was hotter than that. It was pretty damn hot today. But yeah, currently 84 degrees. Still pretty damn hot considering the sun's going down. So heading to Maine for a weekend. Ooh, that sounds lovely. You know what? I have to say, lead pipe. I'm Scottish. Summer is too hot. Winter's too cold. And autumn is just wet. 71 degrees in Pennsylvania. See, 71 I can deal with. 71 is okay. 90 something is a little warm. A little warm. It was sunny the day you fell over at the meet. You may have missed it. I know, right? Yeah, no. It's not even supposed to get. It's supposed to get down to. Woohoo! 67. Yeah, it's gonna. The lowest it's gonna get is a couple degrees lower than where you are at right now, lead pipe. So this is where you have the where you have the differences between the north and the south and the west, and you know, like it's big time differences. So oh, I was gonna say though, on your ride, are you flying or driving to Maine? You're in Pennsylvania, so still a decent hike to Maine from where you are. I mean, probably still what, 9, maybe 10-hour drive, maybe. I have to say, living all my life in the South, where our fall and spring tend to last about 2 weeks, right? Because you know you have your that time when it's still nice during the day and maybe just a tad chilly at night. That wonderful time of year, and in the springtime as well. You know, where it starts to warm up but it's still a little chilly at night. That doesn't happen here, right? We go from scorching hot to fucking freezing cold, right? And we have maybe a 2-week interim between where it's that nice open window weather, right? Well, 8-hour drive just going over the southern border. Okay. Because we have such a short fall before the weather gets too cold for the vegetation to handle it, right? We don't really get the beauty of a true autumn. Okay. I mean, I've seen leaves turn colors, right? No, it's not a foreign concept to me. I've seen them turn red, I've seen them turn yellow, I've seen them turn orange, I've seen them turn brown and fall off, and I've crunched, I've jumped into big piles of leaves, and had fun with that. But I had not experienced what a true autumn is like until I was married the first time, and I went to New York in the fall. And I am telling you, if you have never experienced it, and I know some of you are going to say, oh, our leaves are beautiful here, our trees are beautiful. No. If you have never experienced New England, and when I mean New England, I mean like New York up to Maine, area, right? If you've never experienced New England in the fall, just go. It's so pretty. It is not like anything I've ever seen before. I mean, it looks like somebody went through the mountains and plugged in the trees. Okay, they are not just yellow and orange and red. They are neon. Okay, we're talking bright fucking neon red and orange and yellow. I mean, they are just absolutely gorgeous. And I've never seen it. I've traveled, I mean, I've a lot around the southeast, but I mean, I've been out west and I've been north. I'd never gone as north as New York until I got married the first time. And they are stunning. I've even been to Pennsylvania in the fall. Never seen that shit. Okay, I've been to the Pennsylvania mountains in the fall. I have not seen the leaves turn the way that they do once you get further north up into like New York. And you know, I've never been further than New York, so I can't tell you, but I mean, you know, I imagine Massachusetts and Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, like, it's stunning. English autumn is very similar, but brown leaves on trees can be blink and you miss them. The weather gets so cold and windy that they're gone in a week or two. Yeah, I know and it does get super cold up there, so it's a brief period of time. I don't know exactly. There are websites out there that will tell you like when the best time to go to see the leaves turn. But I mean, it's so beautiful. Like, I've just never seen anything like it. I mean, we're dry, and I only saw the very, very southern tip of it, you know, being up in New York. I can't even imagine what it must be like if you go further north. You know, like, with where I was in New York, like, it was sort of like you could be driving on the interstate and you see like a mountain, and you would see these trees sort of dotted the mountains. They weren't everywhere, right? They were just sort of dotted the mountains, but they stood out. Like, it was just like this, like I said, like somebody plugged it in. It was like a light bulb plugged into the side of the mountain. Just so pretty. Oh, what did Gail say? The highlands of Scotland turn purple with the weather. Ooh, I'm not sure if I saw any purple ones. I may have seen purple. I remember red, yellow, and orange because they were so bright. I'm telling you, like, you ever gotten a box of highlighters, right? And there's yellow and orange, and I mean, it's kind of hard maybe to imagine what neon red looks like, but I mean, it's telling you, it looked like a box of highlighters. They're so beautiful. It's starting now. I spend my weekends in nature around here. All the trees are lighter green yellow. A few weeks it'll go brown and golden. Aww. Active aurora. What? Do you guys get the northern lights there? I did not know that. That's like another reason for me to come visit Scotland. Or England. Or anywhere in the UK for that matter. I had no idea you guys get northern lights. I would love to see those. I would love to see them. Very rarely. Still, you get them. They do not come this far south. All the pictures I've ever seen of what is it, Aurora Borealis, it looks fictional to me. It looks like science fiction. They're so absolutely stunningly beautiful. I can't even imagine. Like, I would go to Alaska just to see Aurora Borealis. They are northern lights, not North American lights. I know, right? Well, they're in Alaska. They're all over Alaska. That's North America. And Canada. I know Canada gets them. Gail, that sounds like that's amazing. I love that. It's almost always cloudy, right? You'll be able to see in 2 weeks. Where are you going, Bits? Are you? We have the Aurora Australias down here in New Zealand. I see. I know. I said Northern Lights. I didn't say North American Lights. Duh. All right. So, so there's Southern Lights too in Australia. Like, there you go. There's just another reason for me to go to Australia. I would, yeah, that's definitely a bucket list item to see that before I die someday. Never seen Northern Lights. Plenty of street lamps, right? We did veer off course from the theme. Well, I mean, I was kind of done with the theme labels. I wanted to get you guys' opinion on it, and you pretty much reinforced what I thought. And I didn't want to tell you what my opinion was before I asked you. I wanted to ask you just up front, what do you think about holiday themed labels? Before I even kind of told you what my position was. And you all agreed with me, and I'm kind of feel a little bit validated for that, so I appreciate that. It's just, it's frustrating, you know? It's really frustrating for, you know, me. I'm a small company. I'm struggling to keep my head above water. Trying to comply as best I can. And it's like, it's so frustrating. It's just frustrating to me. It's frustrating that I can't do anything. I can't do anything to get you excited about Higgies. You know, I'm stuck. I'm stuck with my labels. I'm stuck with my products. I'm stuck selling the same thing I've been selling now for over 2 years, right? I mean, I can change my labels up, which I have, of course. I mean, I've made them more FDA compliant, but I'm stuck, you know, and there's nothing I can do to get you excited, you know. That's what happens. That's what these companies do. They do things to get you excited, right? They want to get you excited about a new product. They want to get you excited about a new flavor, you know, or they want to get you excited about a new look, you know. And it's frustrating that I can't do that, you know. I can't do that. And Specto, if you are not already on the dark chat, basically, if you replace the www in your URL with gaming, it will switch over to a darker background, so it's white text on a black background, and it's a little easier to read. That's what I use because I prefer it. So it's up to you. You don't have to go to the dark side. I'm not. Thank you, Dolores. I'm not going to change them. I mean, I've changed them up a little bit to, like I said, be FDA compliant, and the Gorilla bottles that we have now for retail stores are a little different. They're more. They have a theme. All right, the theme is there's a different color for each flavor. Right, our retail pack only consists of 10 flavors that we already carry. Right, and I have one here. I gave green to Hula Fruits. See? Same basic concept, right? You got the warning at the bottom. You got another warning there. Got a barcode. Okay? Same basic theme. And the only thing that changes from flavor to flavor is that the like vapor in the background changes colors with each flavor. And I wanted that on purpose. I did that on purpose. This is Hula Fruits. Hula Fruits got green. And I wanted to do that on purpose because I wanted the bottles to be recognizable from, you know, several feet away. And instead of people trying to figure out what flavor it was, I wanted them to maybe be used, you know, they say, oh, they know that they like Hula Fruits. They can be like, oh, I want the green one. Yeah, give me the green one, you know. I got, like I said, 10 different colors. I got orange, I got yellow, I got red, I got blue, purple, turquoise, pink. I don't know, there's 10 colors over there. Hula Fruits. Why have I not heard of this one before? I thought I tried all Higgy Fruits. No. Hula Fruits is our Fruit Loop flavor. And it's a damn tasty. If I do say so myself. It took us forever actually to perfect that flavor. We tried all these different combinations, and other people were, this is when the cereal craze was so big. Everybody was into cereals, right? And oh my gosh, we tried so many different ones and they did not work. We could not nail this flavor down. It took us like a year and a half. Like a year and a half before. I mean, not working on it constantly, but like we'd work on it for a couple weeks and then we'd put it down, and then we'd come back to it for a month or two, and then we'd put it down, and then we'd come back to it, and it wasn't until finally that like we just struggled with it so much. Then we finally actually asked a colleague for some advice, and I mean they didn't give us a recipe. They said, try these flavors, like try to put these flavors together, like you're using the wrong flavors. And so we did, you know, we put those flavors together and came up with a recipe, and oh my god, it was like, ah! Hi Ginger, how many varieties of butterscotch do you do? Chunkmeister mentioned one of yours, just can't remember the name. Well, I do a straight butterscotch. I do a Worth It. It's called Worth It. It's like the Werther's Originals candies, which by the way does not say that. I mean, it says it on our website that that's what it tastes like, but does not have a picture of that candy on the label at all. Okay, it's called Worth It instead of Werther's. All right, Worth It, because the flavor is so worth it. All right, it's like a butterscotch toffee candy. The children do like Fruit Loops, which is why I don't have any fucking Fruit Loops on the label. Okay, it's called Hula Fruits, so you can figure out what it means, but it's not attracting the children. There's no fucking Fruit Loops on my label. Oh, yeah. No, I can't talk about that. If Sloan wants to talk to you about that behind the scenes, knock yourself out. But I can't talk about that. But yeah, no, the Worth It is, and there's something else I use butterscotch in. I'm trying to remember what it is. But our butterscotch flavor is pretty damn tasty. It's very strong, and it's pretty tasty. It definitely gives you that creamy, full, buttery, or it was butterscotch. What can I say? It's butterscotch. I had I know you did. And like I said, I am confident that we would hold up under any FDA scrutiny. I really am. You know, I created, I guess, you know, maybe one could kind of come down on our Buster flavors, because I drew the little creatures, little fruit creatures, but I don't put those creatures on our labels. They're on the website, right? And you can't shop on our website if you're not 18. So see there, that's kind of where I feel like I'm justified. I can put and I made those creatures. It's not like they're, you know, they're my creatures, right? They're my little fruit creatures, and I like them. Oh, I'm good, Aries. I'm not. I was fired up earlier. I'm pretty calm now. I got mad. I tell you what really set me off though is that the juice company that was being defended on this post chimed in and was like, I hope everybody learned something today. And I'm like, oh hell no, hold me back. No, hold me back. Do not let me come back at this. I'm not. What did we learn today? Yeah, we learned people play favorites all the time. I did. I was mad too. Oh man, I sent messages to Aries. I was like, hold me back, hold me back. I can't do it. I said it to David too. David's like, please don't get involved. He did. He was like, please don't get involved. I was like, I'm not going to, but damn it, hold me back. So Bits is going to experiment with some Colby Jack. I'm not a big fan of Colby, but I can handle it if it's mixed with Jack. Monterey Jack cheese. I do love Monterey Jack cheese. The only thing Jen was missing during the initial conversation was the head turn. No, it's the head bob. It's the. I was mad. Because I do. I mean, you know, like I said, I mean, I'm struggling to stay relevant, you know, and there's nothing I can do to get you. I mean, there's 41 people watching now, and I love you. I love every single one of you that have taken time out of your Saturday night to come and watch me gab for 3 hours. I think that's awesome. Okay, I am humbled and honored by it every single week. I really am. But I'm just like, you know, there's nothing I can do to get you excited about, you know, buying my product, right? There's nothing I can do. I can't give you a new flavor. I can't do anything, you know? And I'm not, and I won't. I refuse to stoop to the level of putting a Halloween theme on my pumpkin pie flavor, you know? Which honestly, I mean, our pumpkin pie flavor, I'll be honest with you, it doesn't have great reviews. It's the one flavor we have up that it has some good reviews, some bad reviews. Generally speaking, if a flavor gets too many bad reviews, I just pull it. Because it's like, obviously this is not, I thought it was a good flavor, but I was obviously wrong. But there's, you know, some people who really love it, you know, and so I don't want to take it away from them. And with the pumpkin pie flavor, like when I first created it, I was attempting to make a pumpkin spice latte, and I failed miserably at it. I couldn't do it. So when I finally made the pumpkin pie flavor, it tasted just like the filling, just the pie part, not the crust. I didn't have the pie crust flavor at the time, so it tasted like the filling part, and I thought it was great, you know, so I put it up. And I think that people, when they try it, they're kind of expecting the whole experience. They're expecting the pie and the crust and the whipped cream and everything. And that's not what it is. It's just the pumpkin pie filling. And I've gone back and I've revisited it a few times, and I'm just like, you know, thinking that I would tweak it. And I'm like, no, this tastes just like pumpkin pie filling. So I'm not gonna. But I'm not about to change the label on the pumpkin pie just to make it Halloween themed or even fall themed. I'm not going to do it, okay? Because I have my look, I have my brand, and the only thing that needs to change is the name of the flavor. That's it. It's the only thing that needs to change on the label. And I'm not giving in, and it sucks, and I'm struggling to get over this hump because good God, will enforcement come? I'm waiting patiently for enforcement to come. I just don't hope that they throw the baby out with the bathwater. That's, I guess, where I'm going with this. And that's what I'm afraid is going to happen. They're going to throw the baby out with the bathwater. And we're all going to be fucked. You draw the line at anything pumpkin. Hey, that is your right, okay? On the other hand, basic bitches unite. Because on that note, y'all need some peach cobbler up in here. I do have a peach cobbler actually. Maybe a little bit on the creamy side, but it's definitely a cobbler-based flavor. It's called Peaches and Scream. Peaches and Scream. I am reading all the love actually. You guys are really awesome. Thank you so much. And I do, like, I absolutely love every single one of you guys. I can't even say it enough. I love every single one of you guys. I know you guys love my product. Do I have to be a basic bitch to agree with you on this? Yeah, you do. No, you don't. Speaking of pumpkin, okay, because David would absolutely kill me if I didn't plug this as well. For those of you who do not know, we absolutely have implemented a new Plan B product on our website where David is roasting his own coffee and he is infusing it with flavors. And guess what? Guess what? There's a new flavor on the website. It just got put on there yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. So, hello fall. Yes, there is a Higgy's pumpkin spice coffee. Not an e-liquid. Real coffee, okay? Real, freshly roasted coffee. Right now, David is finishing up his Peruvian batch. But just got delivered today. It is actually sitting out in the lobby right now. Is another 25 pounds of Tanzanian coffee. So we have a new. We're traveling the coffee belt right now. We're testing out what the different single origin coffees are like and how they roast and how they are flavored and how they interact with each other, or not each other, but just on their own. And we now have, thank you, Smurf. You guys don't pay more than we do, and there's not really a whole lot we can do about that. So I understand and appreciate the sentiment. But yes, pumpkin spice flavored coffee is now available on the Higgy website under. David did a little something. Actually, you know what? I need to go check it because David did a little something. He changed the website a little bit. He now there's two products on the website. You have flavor infused and the single origin, which is a little bit less expensive than the flavor infused stuff. So you basically, if you go into the flavor infused product, you can choose your flavor there, where you can choose Aries Ram, pumpkin spice, or Nilla Nuts. And we will be adding flavors as we go along. More flavors will be added as we go. You love that. You only got 2 cups? Who took the rest of it? Jamaican Blue. That's gonna have to be a whole separate product, Bits, because we certainly could not sell the coffee at the price we have it priced at now. I think we'd spend more per pound on the Jamaican Blue. It's definitely on the short list though, because that's David's favorite coffee. David's favorite coffee is Jamaican Blue Mountain, hands down. He thinks when you brew it and you brew it just right, it is absolutely the perfect cup of coffee. Employees at work had to share. Oh, you should have kept it at home. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I forgot you got your coffee last Monday, so it's already gone, huh? Did you enjoy it? I hope you did. That was the Peruvian. Infused with cocoa and orange. Cassie, before I switch screens here, lime coffee. I said the same thing about the Aries Ram, and look how that turned out. So I don't know. Maybe we'll have to try it. But you had to do it. So.
Key lime ice cream is What the? Who's that bitch now?
All right. So tea might work. Tea could. The problem with teas, all right, is that the purpose, and I'm not saying we won't eventually go to teas. I mean that's definitely a avenue that we will most likely cross at some point. But the problem is with it's a long running sort of inside joke, Specto. You're new here, and it's because. All right, let's fill Specto in. All right, so a long time ago, and this is a couple years ago, y'all, it was Condensation actually who started trolling David, saying that his favorite flavor, which is our peanut butter buster, was created by me. Now it wasn't created by me, and David, that was David all day long. So he, to be funny. Here we go. To be funny, David created this just for Condi when Condi would come in and troll us about me creating Peanut Butter Buster.
Peanut Butter Buster is mine, bitch.
Okay, so that was the original video. And then just to fuck with me, right, they started trolling me saying that my favorite flavor was created by David, which at the time was key lime ice cream. So we created the video you saw previously to be the whole, like, David still claiming it was his and me dropping a big boulder on his head and squishing him and being like, ha ha ha, who's the bitch now? And so now anytime somebody wants to see those videos, all they have to do is claim that I made Peanut Butter Buster or that David made key lime ice cream, and I play the videos, which still makes people laugh. So anyway, that's how that works. What are we talking about over here? Yeah, I wouldn't think that lime would go well with coffee at all. But the whole point about the teas is that, I mean, eventually the teas are probably going to happen. But the whole point of this was to find a product that we could sell that would use all of these wonderful flavors that we've already created. We've had, we have over 200 of them. And, we've spent the last 4.5 years, actually 5 years, creating all of these awesome flavors. So, like, we should still be able to use this product that are exclusively ours, that we made and they're ours, and that you guys already love. We've tried them and tested them, and they're already proven to be successful. So, we want to be able to do something with those flavors to continue our business, should vaping implode, which, as you know, could very well happen. So the point is that if we go, now we need a David's, I know we do need a David's Revenge skit. Not really, if we haven't, the inspiration will hit us at some point, we'll make one. But my point is that when you're flavoring teas, you wouldn't use like the artificial flavorings. You wouldn't use bakery emulsions to flavor a tea. Okay, you actually tend to use the product itself to flavor a tea. Like if you have an orange tea, oftentimes there are little bits of actual orange in the tea. The tea itself, or it's infused with actual orange juice. It's not. It's not an artificial flavoring. It's natural flavorings. So it doesn't exactly help us in our cause to use the products we've already created to make a tea. It would involve, bringing more products in to create this product, and we're trying to find avenues to continue using the flavors that we've created. What about a blue Saber coffee? Oh, a blue raspberry coffee? I mean, I guess raspberry works in coffee. I mean, you have raspberry mochas, of course. Raspberry, something as David puts it, something magical. Jen's ice cream parlor. I wouldn't be able to ship that to you, though. Nope, 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 nope. Something, as David puts it, something magical happens when you put chocolate and raspberry together. And I agree with that. Okay, I'm not a big fan of raspberries, but there is something magical that happens when you put chocolate and raspberry together, and you put this in a coffee, and it's even more magical. But I don't know about the blue raspberry in a coffee. I don't know. Somebody actually said earlier, though, and they pointed it out, and I will tell you that it's in beta mode. Let's put it this way: it's going to be in beta mode. All right. Aries Ram ice cream. See, ice cream toppings or like a syrup. That's an idea, right? I like that idea. That could happen. That could happen. All right. If you got like a vanilla ice cream and you like squirted like an Aries Ram flavor on it. See, I like that. I like that. Thank you. I'm going to write, you know what? I'm going to write it down so I don't forget it. Ice cream topping. I like it. Make that happen. Now, somebody mentioned, though, they said a peanut butter buster coffee. And okay, what are you trying to do, Aries? You said the extension won't come off. The extension. Right, the extension screws on. I took the extension off of mine. Is it counter thread? It might be. That thing goes back and forth on a lot of things. Yeah, try turning it the other way. So somebody said, though, do a peanut butter buster or just a peanut butter coffee. I will tell you that our first request did come in for a peanut butter buster coffee. All right. Now, David was not on board with this idea, but he is willing to try it. So, when the interns in E-League focus group, the peanut butter buster coffee is officially in the beta testing right now. So it may be the next flavor that comes out. It may come out like shit. I don't know. We're not sure yet. Hi, Yardbird. How you doing? So I'm hoping, though, that, because I kind of think that I think that a peanut butter coffee would be tasty, actually. You know, that'd be awesome selling flavors with ice cream toppings. I won't ask for royalties, even though I pretty much did all the work. So funny. I think his new comeback video can be created with a simple new concept and idea. Here are sales of Jen's What? Nilla Nuts coffee? What? Oh, no. See, when it comes to Nilla Nuts, we do not take any ownership over that. That absolutely, all day, every day, credit goes to Asbestos. That was his recipe, and he bestowed it upon us with great honor, and we were honored and humbled that he came to Hickey Sigs. There were literally thousands of juice companies that he could have brought that to, and they'd have jumped on it like a vulture. Okay. But no. He came to us, and we are very, very honored that he did, and we're thrilled that he did. With absolutely utmost respect and praise to asbestos for choosing Higgies over everybody else out there to sell the Vanilla Nuts flavor. West Georgia. That's right. Could you, Yardbird, you're about, what, 2 hours? I'd say about 2 hours away from me, I think. Maybe an hour and a half. Probably 2 hours. In a purely non-e-liquid sense, did you ever do a good Jaffa Cake flavor? Yes. I did. Actually, it came out fucking awesome. And I can't sell it. Well, you know what? Should we ever get around to splitting up the database, which we do plan on doing at some point, it's hard to, because we have so many projects we're trying to complete right now that are a little bit more pressing. As you may or may not know, the ingredients listing deadline is coming up. So we are definitely working in the background to be compliant with that. I'm not thrilled about turning over all our recipes to the FDA, but it is a requirement. And we will be doing so over the coming months. I believe it's November 8th or November 10th. It's like the first or second week in November, which those are due. And not happy about it, but we'll be doing it at the last minute because why not? Why give it to them any sooner than we have to? So, with a set of D-ring crimpers. Now you don't think how it looks with the cover. Shit. Now you don't like it. That sucks. So, anyway, when I can buy some when you split the database. Yeah, who would have thought U.S. policies would force you to give preferential treatment to us dirty foreigners? I would never, ever call you dirty foreigners. I love my UK people, and believe me, it is not out of the possibility that we will someday be living there, because it'll be easier for us to survive there than it is here. But I digress. That yes, once we split the database, we can actually offer you foreigners all of these awesome flavors that we've come up with over the last 2 years that we cannot sell to you guys. And yeah, so there you go. Cassie, believe me, not the first time I've thought that. And actually, Gail, Scotland is, yeah, that's probably where we'd end up. Absolutely. That means every Chinese and every other foreign company with that. I know, Specto, believe me, and I'm not happy about it at all. But it is a requirement. Actually, it has to be done. It has to be done by November, I think it's November 8th. Might be November 10th. But yeah, we have to turn over all our recipes because they have to know. Is that happening to you, RS, too? I was just ignoring it. But is everybody else's chat disappearing for a couple seconds and then coming back? Jen already has already bag seed the top. Oh, I have? I'm going to Sloan. Sloan can cook. Holy crap. Sloan puts up pictures of stuff she's been cooking. I'd even eat haggis the way she cooks it, because damn, it looks yummy. Yep. Or are you saying, RS, that I've ignored your question? Let's see. Higgies Gourmet Pancake Syrup. I'll write down pancake syrup. I'll write that down. We have no idea what other kind of regulations we're going to be walking into. I missed. I saw the Piggy's pancake syrup. Let's see, what else did you say? I missed it. Hickey's Gourmet Pancake. Okay, I got it. Hickey's Gourmet Pancake Syrups. I wrote it down. And I do, because I do love those. You know, when you go to IHOP, and for those of you who, well, does anybody here, I mean, do they have IHOPs over in the UK? IHOP is short for the International House of Pancakes. And when you sit at the table, first of all, you get a side of pancakes with like everything. Like everything that you get there, you get like a side of pancakes. And right there on the table is a little bank of flavored syrups. You have original, blueberry, strawberry, and butter pecan. And now they also have flavored pancakes, but every table has those four flavors available to them right there on the table. And I love the butter pecan. Pancakes here are pretty much 2D and only come with lemon and sugar or strawberries. Oh no. No, 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 no. Between us all, we can make room for all our U.S. friends who jump ship. Might be a lot. I don't know. I know, IHOB. And for those of you who do know, that, yeah, IHOP decided a stupid promotion where they were going to change their name to IHOB because they also do burgers. They're the pancake house, damn it. If you buy flavoring and other ingredients from FDA-approved suppliers, does your company have to provide even more documentation to stay compliant with FDA regs? There are no FDA-approved suppliers. That's not exactly where they're going with this. They're basically saying we want to know what's in it. That's what they're saying to us, okay? We want to know what you're putting in it, okay? They want documentation showing exactly what we're putting in this stuff, okay? We thought initially, and TFA actually gave us an amazing tool to do this. We thought that they were going to ask us to break down all the components of the flavoring, right? And the Flavor Apprentice actually gave, you had to get permission to do it, like you had to fill out this non-disclosure agreement and all this other stuff. But they actually gave us a wonderful tool that actually broke down all their flavorings by component. But it turns out they don't want that. Because these flavor companies have already submitted their like master files to the FDA just for being a food product, right? So our ingredients listing just needs to say, hey, I'm using this flavor company and this flavor, and this is how much of it I'm putting in there. And they want to see that. They want to be able to trace it. They want to be able to trace where everything in these e-liquid is coming from, right? And I mean, on that note, I can understand why. I just wish they weren't being so like wanting to know. I wish they just wanted to know ingredients rather than actual amounts, because like I just don't relish the idea of turning over my recipes to the FDA. Okay, so if you're coming to the UK, bring decent pancakes. I'll look into it. I can just make decent pancakes when I get there. How's that? Because I know how to do that. Mushrooms? No, 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 no. Don't put mushrooms on your pancakes. I will say, if they're crepe pancakes, and I say crepe because David likes to call them crepes. I pretty much usually call them crepes. But if they're crepe pancakes, those could potentially have mushrooms. Those are a little bit different. I wonder if they do that with alcohol and cigs. I know they do it with cigarettes, actually, Prim. I know that. I know that for a fact, actually. Because that was what they gave us. I know the government databases are so secure, right? No, I know that they do that with cigarettes because the form that they gave us initially, they wanted to make us use a form that the cigarette companies use, right? The cigarette companies, you know, a cigarette is a single product, right? And when you have a cigarette, it's the same cigarette all the time. It doesn't change, right? You don't get different sized cigarettes. I mean, yeah, you can get hundreds and 120s and the 72s or whatever. But for the most part, you know, you have a single cigarette. It's always the same flavor. It's always the same size, right? So nothing changes about it. And the form that you fill out to tell them what your blend of tobacco is weight-based. All right? So it's weight-based. So, you know, because you would have like these different types of tobaccos maybe coming from different sources, right? So you sprinkle a little bit of this in, and you sprinkle a little bit of that in, and you sprinkle a little bit of that in, and you roll it up into a cigarette, right? And yes, they absolutely, the cigarette companies and the cigar companies all have to turn in exactly what their blend is for their product. The problem is they gave us the same form that these tobacco companies use, which is weight-based, right? So in order for us to be compliant on their form, we would have to do it for every single product, every single flavor, every single nic level, every single size, every single PG-VG ratio, okay? And we'd have to do it over and over and over and over again, even if it was the same recipe, all right? Because it was a weight-based form. And basically, we all said, wait a minute, that does not work for us. Okay, much easier to take a single recipe and then just list these are all of the products that are associated with that same recipe. Okay, and that's actually what I did. Okay, I was invited to be on sort of a task force of people who met with the Center for Tobacco Products, the CTV, at the FDA, and we worked together on creating a new form. And I know, I mean, I actually programmed the form myself. I was sort of set with the task of creating the form. It was actually somebody else's idea, and there was another woman who put the task force together, and she organized the meetings with the CTP, and when it came down to it, though, it was my programming skills. I had better programming skills than any of the other people in the task force. So me and the other people sort of did all the research to collect the database information, and then I cleaned up the database information. I programmed it into a spreadsheet, and I put it into a form that basically gives you, okay, look, this is one recipe, and here's all the products associated with that recipe, and it doesn't matter, you know, what size, what nic level, what PG-VG ratio. It's just a whole list of these products, and these are all associated with this recipe. It's going to save literally thousands, probably millions of man hours across all e-liquid companies. So it was something I was more than happy to do. Because some pen pusher read e-cigarette juice and had no idea what that meant, but it says cigarette. Well, yeah, no, it's not that, Doc. It's actually, this was a form they already have in place for cigarette and tobacco manufacturers. And like I said, I mean, a cigar, you know, if you're a cigar manufacturer, you have a specific blend of tobacco that you put in your cigar, right? But you always put the same blend of tobacco in every cigar you make, right? So you would just fill out the form once. You know, you fill it out for that one product, you're done, right? Or if you come up with a new one, then you might put in, you know, create a new form for it. But still, it's like, it's just the one time. And it did not work for us, which is a volume-based product and not a weight-based product. Does Hunt's have to verify how much nicotine is in each can of tomatoes? I doubt it. Good question, but I doubt it. Just come to the UK, set up shop. You'll probably get a government contract with the NHS to provide e-liquids for prescription within a year. It's going down so well over here. When you hand over your mixes, flub the amounts a little more, a little less there. Who's going to check? I like it. You know what? I'll write that down too. I'll propose that idea to David. I'll propose the idea to David. And like Cassie is absolutely right. I totally see this going in a way that I'm not happy about. I feel that we're all going to turn our information over to the FDA. The FDA is going to regulate us all out of business. We're all going to scream and cry and squawk about it for a few years. And then in 10 years, after everybody's forgotten about it and moved on, the big pharma is going to come out with their life-saving device that will save 1 billion lives in the 21st century. And nobody's going to remember us. And they're going to have all this information they can just hand over and say, hey, look, pick and choose what you like. All right. I've been gabbing for almost 2 hours now. We haven't even gotten in the lab yet. Do y'all still want to get in the lab, or do you want to talk? They are sacred, Vaping Smurf, because it's a little scary to me that when it comes down to it, I mean, I have this business, and I'm very proud of it, you know, and I have a website, and I have a customer base, and I have an office, you know, space. I have a lab, you know, I have a conference room. I have PG and VG, and I have tens of thousands of dollars worth of flavoring in there, and you know, I have all these processes and everything, and I'm you know, but when it all comes down to it, none of it makes a damn bit of difference if I don't have this spreadsheet that I'm looking at right here. This spreadsheet, which I keep under a lock and key, and now I'm not inviting anybody to come hack my system and try to break into my recipe book. But it comes down to this recipe book right here. Without that recipe, this is my whole business right here. This one file is worth, it's priceless. To me, it's priceless. Because none of this exists without this recipe book. I do, we have a couple of hazmat suits actually. We are. I think every vapor in the USA should stockpile nicotine mechs and addies. I think a lot of us already have. I say talk about the squawk. Anyone disappointed can take a walk. I was really fired up earlier too, and because I don't know what to do to get you guys excited about Higgies. You know, again, like I need to do something to get you guys excited about it. You know, and everybody's scared, and I know everybody's scared, and I know why, because I'm scared. You know, but it's not looking good for us, guys. All right, it's way beyond time to. It is way beyond time to be nervous or to be complacent, I guess is the right word, you know. FDA could sell Higgies juices to the masses, recipes on tap. I know. Brondo. Just like Brondo. It has electrolytes. I used to do that too. I used to drink a lot of Smart Water, but it has electrolytes. When will you get more information? Waiting is the most anxious part. More information about what? I wouldn't be surprised if the FDA leaked recipes to cut business to companies. I don't want to say. I know we all want to be like, oh, they're the big bad wolf, you know. They're, you know, and I mean, and they kind of are, but like, you know, I don't know if you guys remember this or not. A couple weeks ago, and I think I talked about this last week. Was it last week? That David ended up having a meeting. There was a study that came out of Georgia State University a while back, talking about how bad e-cigs are for you, and citing debunked studies, and it was bad. Okay, it was really bad. And when David found out that it came out of GSU, he was like, okay, we have a way to get in touch with these people, right? And we got in touch with our lobbyists, and they managed to set up a meeting with the people who wrote this study. And they're all like PhDs, and they were all like people who, there were people there who literally collaborated and helped write the current regulations. Okay, these are people who, I don't want to say people who matter, because we all matter, but I mean, these are the people who actually can affect real change. Okay, and David was nervous. He had no idea that he was actually going to be in a meeting with the people who helped write the regulations. Okay, and the resounding message that he walked away with was, we had no idea. Like they didn't even know. Like they did not realize what they were doing when they wrote it. Now they could have been it could have been smoke and mirrors. They could have been blowing a lot of smoke up David's ass. I don't know. It's possible, but there were 4 of them, and 4 there were GSFA members. There's 3 GSFA members and one one of our lobbyists, right? Yeah, Aries, when you ask who are the smartest people in the room, everyone will turn to these guys. I mean, these guys are like multiple PhD, super respected scientist type people, okay? Like probably just a stone's throw away of being on the Royal College of Physicians kind of people, okay? They're very, very well respected. And so, you know, these guys were nervous walking into this meeting. They didn't want to walk in all puffed up. You know, they didn't want to be like, hey, let me take you to school, son, kind of thing, because that's not what the meeting was about. The meeting was about, you know, let's talk about this, okay? If you want to do real studies, let's, wait, let's come back. The study was about, it wasn't about what's in e-cigarettes. It was about, crap, I can't remember what the study was about now. Aries, do you remember what the study was about? It was about like vapers and how it doesn't help you quit smoking. That was it. That the study showed that like a ridiculous number of people who tried vaping either went back to smoking or never stopped smoking or something like that. And the basic premise of the study was that vaping doesn't help. Vaping does not help you stop smoking. But it turns out that the pool of people that they conducted these studies on were not what you and I would consider real vapers. Okay, you know, they were pulled out of you know they put out a plea for people who take, you know, survey monkeys, people who take a lot of surveys, people who, you know, might have tried, yeah, a vapor meant if you were considered a vapor if you had ever just tried a single puff off of any cigarette or off of any e-cigarette, any device, ever, you know, or well, and within a 36-month period, right? And it didn't matter. Like, if you took one puff off of a blue 2 years ago, you're a vapor, right? Which, I mean, you and I all both know that is not true, okay? People who take one puff off of a blue have not really experienced the true joys of vaping, you know, or the true benefits of vaping. So, yeah, I know, right? Specto, I'm with you. I'm with you, okay? And so the point of this meeting was to be like, okay, look, if you really want to conduct some real studies, okay, we can put you in touch with copious amounts of people to conduct real studies on. Okay, because and yeah, and I had some mixed feelings about that, because the fact of the matter is if you study the right group of people, you're going to get whatever results you want. I mean, like any study out there can be skewed the way you want it to be if you study the right, subjects. Okay. But they were actually very open to that idea. They were very open to, hey, this is a resource of us to get hold of the right people to conduct better studies about this product. And they were like, for example, this was a good thing. They said, or a good example, they said, they brought up the T21 thing. For those of you who may not know, the T21 is the law that several states have started passing, raising the smoking age to 21. Several states have gone to 21. A few states have gone to 19. But for the most part, federally, the overall age is still 18. Right? So when they said, well, why would you be against T21? They said, aren't you against T21? Why would you be against T21? That seems a little, that seems like a good idea to us. Why would you be against it? And the response was, well, let's look at the facts. The average age, and this is still true to this day, the average age that people start smoking is 14. I was 14. Anybody else under the age of 18 when you started smoking? Anybody else in this room? Pretty much all of us? Yeah, thought so. So if we raise the age to 21, because we've made it so difficult for minors to get their hands on e-cigarettes, right? So they start smoking at 18, or they start smoking at 14. Well, they've been smoking for 4 years now when they reach the age of 18, right? And they're 18 years old. They have the choice to switch to a safer alternative. Now we're telling this 18-year-old that he's got to smoke for 3 more years before he can switch to vaping. And David said, like, all the jaws in the room went, I hadn't thought about it that way. Like, they really had not considered it. They had not considered that was a problem, like that it was prohibiting the 18-year-olds out there from switching to e-cigarettes, who had already been smoking for several years at this point. And I think that really helped set the tone of the meeting. They were like, hey, we're on the same side here. And they did. They really had a great discussion. They said, hey, we're on the same side here. This is in the interest of public health. And look at all these numbers in the room. Like, crazy, right? 15, 10, 11, 14, 8, 13, 13, 14, 13, 12, 13, 13, 13, 14, 17. Smoking age is 18. Federally, Eva. The federal law is 18. You cannot go the state. Okay, there are federal laws and then there are state laws. Okay, state laws supersede federal laws, but they can't lessen the law. Okay, so while a federal law, well, I guess that's not really true, because we do have marijuana legal in some states, and it's certainly still a federal law that it's illegal. But that's only recent and still a big fight and discussion for another time. But generally speaking, you have federal laws and then you have state laws. And state laws can supersede federal laws, but generally they're not going to lessen the law. So you can't set the smoking age below 18 in your state, but you can make it higher. Currently, I have it written down right here, actually. Currently, California, Hawaii, New Jersey, and Oregon all have their smoking age. They've raised it to 21. And Utah, Alabama, and Alaska have raised their smoking age to 19. Well, like I said, Aries is kind of a I mean, yes, that is generally the case, but obviously, like I said, with marijuana, it's not necessarily the case because federally it's still illegal, but we have several states that have made it legal. So they are assuming that kids will adhere to the tobacco age restriction, but not the vaping one. Yes. No, they are assuming. No, they're not assuming that. They are assuming that. Actually, no, not what they're assuming. They are attempting to make the vaping laws stricter. Really, and they're not really trying to make the vaping law stricter. They're trying to make the tobacco law stricter. They think if they're raising the smoking age, it's going to cut down on the availability of any tobacco product to anybody under that age, which we all know is bullshit. Not going to happen. Oh, is that the way they've done it? I thought it was just legal. No. Doc, no. David's already taken a stance on that. Used to buy my cigs from a cigarette machine in the mall. Same mall now wants you to smoke out back next to a dumpster. Cosmic, that's how I used to get my cigarettes too. Well, for a while. Actually, then my neighbor started buying them for me. I'd give my neighbor money and she'd go buy me a carton. Yeah, I used to give my friend $1.10 in change. And her apartment complex was right next to a flea market. And there was a cigarette vending machine right in the front door of a flea market. She used to walk over to the flea market and give me a pack of cigarettes. So the states are trying to get around the federal law on marijuana by stipulating recreational amounts. Oh, okay. Is that how that's working? So when I was at school, the smoking age was 16. They raised it to 18, and all the final year kids were still smoking. They had no issue getting them. I didn't have any issue getting them either. I found ways to get them. Like I said, at first it was my friend. Well, at first, there was like certain stores that we knew never carded. So then I would get my friend to get them from a vending machine. Like I said, my neighbor got them for me for a while. She was a smoker, so she would just buy cigarettes. So when she bought her cigarettes, I'd give her money for them. I had older friends. Because when I was smoking, the age was 17, actually. So, I was 14, so it wasn't really it was pretty easy to have friends that were 17. I get my friends to buy them for me. Like I said, I had even adults buy them for me. There were some gas stations that weren't so critical about carding. They raised it to 18. Because at the time, I think the drinking age actually was 18. The drinking age was 18, the smoking age was 17. And when they raised the smoking age to 18 after I had turned 17, or I was already 18, I think. And they raised the drinking age to 21. But they grandfathered, had to have been confusing as hell for the convenience stores, because they grandfathered in all the people who were already 18 could continue to buy alcohol. But anybody who turned 18 after a certain date had to wait till they were 21. So there were some people who could buy alcohol between the ages of 18 and 21, and some people who couldn't. It was very confusing for a while. You were in the 10th grade when they raised it to 18? No, it was still no, because I remember turning 17. I remember turning 17, and I went into a convenience store that a friend of mine was working at. She was a little bit older. So, I mean, she always sold me cigarettes anyway. She didn't care. So a friend of mine was working at this convenience store, and I walked in and I was like, I like a pack of whatever. And I said, and card me, please. And she was like, can I see your ID? And I whipped out my ID and handed it to her on my 17th birthday. She's like, oh, happy birthday. Look at that. Sloan was like a dealer and shit. So, and I do remember that, actually. I remember the smoking age being they had a, it was the year before. The year before I started high school, they actually used to have a smoking section in school that seniors were allowed to go into. Just the seniors. But if seniors wanted to go into that, they had a little place outside that they had cordoned off, and the seniors could go out there and smoke. They got rid of it the year I started high school. What did you sell on the other side of the theater? So, but bulking in e-liquid with cigarettes means tighter tobacco laws are going to harm the industry. This is the issue, right? Yes. That is the thing. So we're telling these kids that are smoking that they have to wait because, you know, we're all about enforcing the laws, and we're okay with that. Okay. But you know, here's the thing though. Okay, the vaping industry is the low-hanging fruit. People come in here and ask us all the time. They're like, why are they coming after the vaping industry so hard? Because we're the low-hanging fruit. That's why. Because we're easy to annihilate. Okay, we're easy to come down harder on because we can't fight back. Okay. They know better than to try to fight the tobacco industry or the pharma industry or even the government, okay? You can't fight those entities. They're too big. They're too well funded. We're low-hanging fruit. Okay? We're the easiest thing to attack and make it look like they're doing something. It's good for public perception. Okay? That's what it comes down to. Okay, low-hanging fruit. From age 17 to 21, I go to the liquor store and buy alcohol. I never got carded. The first time I went to the liquor store after turning 21, I got carded. Vaping is the replacement revenue stream for big tobacco. Specto, if you start doing the research, and this is where it gets disgusting, okay? If you start doing the research and you start digging and you start finding how much money our government is currently getting from tobacco, there is no way possible they will ever squeeze that kind of money out of vaping. It can't happen, okay? First of all, they're trying to do it, or the attempts that they've been trying to do it is, they're trying to do it when we're still this grassroots small industry, right? I mean, it's a booming industry, but it's still potatoes next to big tobacco, big pharma. Okay, it's nothing. Okay, nothing. All right. So they're never going to squeeze the kind of... Big tobacco was already massive when they started squeezing this kind of money out of them, okay? The money that the government... Okay, let's you know what? Let's do some basic math here, okay? Let's just do some basic math. And I'll even... Let's do this on some pen and paper so you can see it, all right? Here we go. Now, I'm going to ask you some basic questions, okay? We'll do it here. Okay, here we go. All right. Is it fair to say that the average pack of cigarettes... Now, I know it's a little bit more some places, a little less some places, but let's just say the average pack of cigarettes has $5 worth of tax on it. Is that fair? Is that fair? I'll wait for an answer. Okay, we're gonna say $5. Okay. Now the average smoker, all right, average smoker smokes a pack a day, right? Right? Okay. So that's $5 a day. All right. Oh, look at that. The national average is $5.60. All right. Well, we'll just say 5. All right. So we got $5 a day per smoker. Now, there are currently, last time I looked, 36 million smokers in this country. Okay? All right? Times 5. So, we're now looking at, I'm counting zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. $180 million a day being funneled into our governments, our local governments. I know, Eva, I know you guys do, but there are some cigarettes that you can buy here. You can still buy for around $5 or $6 a pack. Others, and depending on your location, there are other places that charge up to $13, $14, $15 a pack. So we're using round numbers here, okay? So that's $180 million per day. Per day. All right? Your average month is 30 days. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That is $5.4 billion being funneled into our local governments per month. Times 12, right? 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's $64,800,000,000. No, that's 64 trillion. What? Am I doing this right? Yeah, that's $64,800,000,000 being funneled into our local government. Local governments. Okay? Across this country every single year. All right? There is no way you're going to squeeze that kind of money out of the vaping industry. All right? Now, the fact of the matter is there's about, all right, let's look at it this way. So there's roughly about 10 million vapers in the United States right now. Okay? Now, if they were still smoking, that would be $5 a day, right? $50 million a day times 30. Okay, now you're talking 600 million a month, right? Times 12. What is that? I don't even know. 600 million times 12 equals, there we go, $7,200,000,000 that our government feels they are being robbed of every single year. Okay? This is what our government feels that the vaping industry owes them every single year, because they feel they're being cheated out of that 7,200,000,000, or what? I forgot some zeros there. Look at that. $7,200,000,000. All right. This is the problem. This doesn't even touch on the MSA agreement. This is just taxes that our government has put on cigarettes. All right? This is what they're getting from everyday people, you, me, and everybody else who's ever touched a cigarette. That's what they're getting from people. All right? What was that number? 64, almost $65 billion a year in taxes. Okay? And that doesn't even touch on the MSA agreement. Now, Aries put something in there. All right. What is this here? All right. Georgia receives almost $200 million per year from the MSA agreement. Okay, so on top of what I just showed you, now what I showed you is for all 50 states. Obviously, some states have more smokers, some states have less smokers, some states tax heavier than other states. Okay, I'm just giving you averages here. Okay, it is fair to say that there's an average of $5 in tax. It's an average of a pack a day, smoker, right? That's averages, right? Obviously, there are states like Nevada, California, New York. They tax the ever-living shit out of these cigarettes, and they get a lot more money. All right. So, but my state, which is actually probably one of the most lax states in the union as far as cigarettes and vaping goes. All right. My home state gets almost $200 million a year based on the MSA agreement every year. All right. On top of what they're getting from taxes. California receives over $1 billion a year based on the MSA agreement, on top of the taxes that they are milking the people for their cigarettes. Okay, this is the kind of money that they're losing, and they feel like that's owed to them. The vaping industry will never be able to compete with that without taxing the living fuck out of it, right? And that's what the problem is. All right, $8 billion. Wait, is that billion or trillion? No, that's billion. $8 billion per year from the MSA agreement per year. All right. Now, here's the trick. The MSA agreement, for those of you who don't know what the MSA agreement is, all right. The MSA agreement was, what happened was back in the mid 90s, early 90s, I think. If I'm not mistaken, I believe it was Mississippi. Yeah, I believe it was Mississippi was the first state. They came along and they said, okay, look, our healthcare costs are going through the roof, and it's all due to people smoking. We're going to sue Big Tobacco because we need help with our healthcare costs, right? And they sued tobacco, and they won. They won a huge amount of money, like the biggest settlement in all of history, and to help with their healthcare costs. Okay, whatever. And then Florida came along and they said, whoa, wait a minute, we have rising healthcare costs because of smoking too. So we're going to sue Big Tobacco. And then Minnesota did it and Texas did it. And they all won. They got huge amount of money. All right. So after the fourth lawsuit happened, Big Tobacco said, okay, whoa, wait a minute. Before you other 46 states jump on this bandwagon, let's make a deal. All right. So the other 46 states said, okay, let's make a deal. All right. And they said, we will give you a percentage of our profits every year. We will break that percentage up by state based on population. Okay. And give that to you every single year if you promise not to sue us. And the state said, okay, cool. But Florida and Mississippi and Texas and Minnesota got all their money up front. We want our money up front too. Big Tobacco said, well, we can't do that. Okay, that's not going to happen, so we'll give it to you every year. All right. Now, what happened is these states, they went and they bought bonds on Wall Street. based on the amount of money that they thought they were going to get from Big Tobacco every year, that they could pay back the bonds, right? So they got all their money up front by borrowing it, basically, using the money that was going to come in over the years from Big Tobacco to pay it back. Then something crazy happened. People started smoking less, right? The smoking rate started going down. And so the amount of money that was supposed to come in from Big Tobacco started declining. All right. So now, oh my God, we don't have the money to pay back the bonds. We're going to have to default, right? What are we going to do? Well, let's try to find somewhere else to get the money from. Hey, this vaping thing is what's causing people to start smoking less. So let's try to tax vaping the same way we tax cigarettes so we can get that money back. You see how this works? It's, yes, you can no longer sue the tobacco company. Can't do it. The MSA agreement basically spoke for all of us. He said, nope, your state's getting all this money now every year. My state, apparently, I didn't even know that. My state, $200 million a year? Shit. Yeah, it's disgusting. Okay. So on top of the taxes that they put on these products, all right, Big Tobacco doesn't see those taxes. Okay, your local government sees the taxes that you spend on your cigarettes every day. Okay, Big Tobacco doesn't see. Big Tobacco is paying out on top. So okay, the amount of money that our government is getting from smoking is insanely obscene. Okay, insanely. I mean, these are numbers that, I mean, honestly, I can't even like wrap. I don't even know how much. $7.2 billion a year. Okay, that's what our government is pissed off about. Okay, they think they're being robbed of $7.2 billion a year. I can't even wrap my head around how much $7.2 billion is. Yes, the government absolutely. The government makes magnitudes more off a pack of cigarettes than the tobacco companies do. Like magnitudes more. like probably 10, 20, 30 times more off a pack of cigarettes than the tobacco companies. Okay, I remember reading somewhere, and this was a long time ago. This was like, I was probably in my teens, maybe early 20s when I read this, that the physical cost of making a pack of cigarettes, to say, you know, Philip Morris or RJ Reynolds, is like 8 cents. Now, I have no idea what they're actually selling the packs of cigarettes to, you know, the distributor, because I mean, you know, there's a whole chain of command. The production facility sells it to a distributor, who sells it to another distributor, who then, you know, sells it to a chain, who then distributes it amongst their stores. You know, I mean, I'm sure there's like a huge chain of command there, and every time it gets moved down the line, the price goes up and up and up. But yeah, it would not surprise me to find out that an actual manufacturing facility is selling these pack of cigarettes for 50 cents or $1 or something like that. Okay. Everything else on top of that is all just like building on all of that other crap. Because by the time it gets to you, you know, it's gone through God knows how many middlemen, right? And then it's they've taxed the living fuck out of it on top of that, right? Like, it's just crazy. 50 cents. There you go. Like I said, it would not surprise me. That does not surprise me in the least that it was 50 cents to $1. Is how much that original pack of cigarettes actually was sold for. Not even surprising. There was somebody shared a post. Somebody was in Las Vegas and bought a pack of cigarettes, and they took a picture of their receipt. It was like $17 for a pack of cigarettes. You're never going to milk that kind of money out of the vaping industry. It can't happen. Like, we don't have those kind of resources. You know? So, yeah. Specto, when I start like looking at these numbers, okay, when I start looking at this $65 billion number, you know, when I start thinking about the MSA agreement and, you know, what Aries says $1 billion total every year paid out to all 50 or 46 states, I should say. When I start thinking of those numbers, I begin wondering where, like, do they really need any other income? You know, I know that they do, okay, but I'm just saying it's so much money. It's more money than I can wrap my head around. And I wonder, like, do they even need any more money? Like, is our entire country just riding on the backs of big tobacco right now? Because I know they do the same thing with alcohol and of course there's sales tax and we have income tax and everything else, but it's like, holy crap, there is so much money being funneled into our governments based on tobacco. I mean, it's obscene. It's beyond disgusting. And when you have that much money involved, it's really not in their best interest to make people stop smoking. You know? Does not really good for business for people to quit. So they can, you know, they can be up front, right? Be like, look, we're trying to stop people from smoking. Well, don't look at this hand. Don't look back here. No, look, we're trying to stop people from smoking. But don't look back here. Don't look back here. Doesn't really help. DC, American Samoa, North Marinas, Guam, U.S. Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico too. I mean, like I said, just, it's obscene. It is absolutely obscene. Okay, and they're. What's more disgusting is that, like I said, they feel this is what they're owed. This is what the vaping industry owes them. Okay, this is what that money is theirs, and we took that away from them right there. $7.2 billion. This isn't, I know, this has turned into a very depressing show, hasn't it? I'm so sorry. I do mean to be entertaining. I hope I'm being informative, but this is what we're up against, okay? This is what we're fighting, all right? And this is what I mean, it's impossible to fight. We can't, you know? So our only hope is at some point, somewhere, somebody along the way who has control over, you know, laws and regulations and politics will open their eyes and be like, wait a minute, this isn't logical. You know? Maybe we should listen to logic for a second. And that's a pipe dream and a half. I know that. I know it's a pipe dream and a half. But I am hoping and praying that somebody somewhere along the way says, wait a minute, we're on the same side here. Thank you, Smurf. I'm my smoke's more than a pack a day. I never smoked more than a pack a day. I might on the weekends, like if I was partying a lot, I might, but I felt it too. I was about a half a pack a day smoker. So, and that's why I convinced myself it was okay to keep smoking, right? And why it was okay for me to smoke the expensive cigarettes. You know, there were other cigarettes that were always like the generic sort of cigarettes were cheaper, and like some of the bigger brands would like, a lot of times RJ Reynolds would put their stuff on sale. They were trying to combat taxes, right? And you could buy Marlboros and you know, there's a whole the RJ Reynolds owns about 50 different brands. I don't know if you know that or not, but they do. And you could buy RJ Reynolds cigarettes, but I was a Philip Morris girl, right? I was Benson Hedges. That was my brand, and they were never on sale, and they were always premium, and they always cost more than other cigarettes, right? But because I only smoked half a pack a day, I convinced myself that my habit really wasn't that bad. You know? I spent $65 on a carton, but I only did it every 3 weeks. So, right? Convinced myself I was only spending, what, $3 a day, which was less than I would spend at Starbucks. You know? I convinced myself that this was okay. No, Prim, please don't stop buying my product. Do you think big tobacco or big government is the driver of wanting to put vaping in the same category as smoking? No. Actually, Specto, they wanted to put vaping in the same category as medical devices. What happened was, again, if you guys don't know this, okay, the reason why we are a tobacco product is because, I'm not sure what year it is, Aries could tell us because he knows all this stuff right off the top of his head. It was Cetera, which is the parent company of Enjoy, was bringing in a huge shipment of e-cigarette products in 2010, thank you, bringing in a shipment of a huge shipment of e-cigarette products, which got stopped at customs. Customs stopped the package, this huge shipment, and said, you can't bring these into this country. These are medical devices. So Cetera said, okay, we're going to sue the FDA and prove that they're not medical devices. They are a tobacco product, which at the time you could import tobacco products into the country with very little red tape. So, and they won. I'm not even sure how long the court case lasted. I'm sure it lasted forever and a day, but they won. And so, boom, okay, we're a tobacco product, all right? Now, fast forward, right? The vaping industry has boomed. It's still considered a tobacco product, but there were no real regulations on our particular product, right? Taxes have to be set locally, and the local governments weren't really sure what to do with this whole vaping phenomenon, right? But the FDA was on it. They started working on it immediately, right? As soon as I also think the distinction between Wall Street bonds and bonds issued by states and municipalities with tobacco settlement money that has hurt certain states worse. Yes, absolutely, Yardbird, you are correct. I now have all of the banned documents from that case. Do you? Oh, cool. So, thank you. Right? I think Chuck said that the other day. We were casting. He said, you know, if we had won. All right. So basically, I would imagine pretty much as soon as Cetera won that court case, the FDA started collaborating. It was like, okay, we need to regulate these products. And it took them like probably, I would imagine, 3 or 4 years of deciding how they were going to regulate these products. So what they then did in 2016, they released a new set of regulations for all tobacco products. All right. And what these regulations did is they said, okay, and there were already regulations in place for tobacco products, but they tightened them up, and they tightened them up for everything that's come onto the market since 2007. So basically, if your product was on the market as of 2007, February 15th, 2007, you can keep selling your product. It doesn't matter if it causes cancer. It doesn't matter if it causes emphysema. It doesn't matter if it causes COPD. It doesn't matter if it kills 500,000 people a year. You're free and clear to sell it wherever you want, whenever you want, however you want. And you have no restrictions. I mean, there might be some, but yeah, basically you're free and clear. Well, guess what? There weren't any real e-cigarette products on the market in 2007. There were a few that were sort of popping up here and there, but they were crap and they didn't work and everybody hated them, right? So basically it completely wipes out the vaping industry, all right? Nobody's product was on the market as of 2007. They also said that, okay, as you, if you have a product on the market right now that is a newly deemed tobacco product, you can continue to sell those products for a few years while you file what's called a pre-market tobacco application, or the PMTA. The PMTAs are stupid expensive, stupid complicated, and stupid involved as far as testing these products to ensure that they are beneficial to public health. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. There has been, ever since the PMTA was introduced in 2009, I believe, the PMTA process, there has been exactly one PMTA that has been approved. And it took 7 years to get it approved. And it wasn't even a full-blown PMTA. There's a PMTA which is based on a brand new product that does not like anything else, which is basically all of the vaping industry. And then there is what's called a substantial equivalent PMTA, which is a application that is based on a product that is very similar to a product that is already on the market. In this case, the PMTA that was approved was a substantial equivalent to a Swedish snus. Well, it wasn't the equivalent to. The product was a Swedish snus. And there were already many different snuses already on the market that they could turn over all of this research and all of these tests and studies and, you know, several years worth of conducting different experiments to show that their product is substantially equivalent to a product that was already on the market, and that's why they should be allowed to sell it. So, after 7 years of all of this crap, right, they submitted, and they finally got their PMTA approved for this Swedish snus. And it's the only PMTA that's actually gotten through. Okay, so, and it's not, and you can't submit a PMTA for, like, I can't submit one single PMTA for, like, all of my products. It doesn't work that way. I'd have to submit a PMTA for every single flavor, every single nic level, every single PG-VG ratio. I'd have to submit, it would come out to, we figured it out once, it would come out to, like, the GNP of like a second world nation. I mean, it would be billions and billions of dollars. So yes, the FDA said, look, see, we approve things. Yeah, we approve one thing. So that's what we're up against. Okay, they said, they came out and they told us initially on August 8th, 2016 is when these deeming regs go into effect, and you've got 2 years that you can continue to sell your products. You can't create anything new without a PMTA already approved, but you can continue selling these products for 2 years to file your PMTA. And then Gottlieb came out and he said, you know what, 2 years is not enough time. We need to dig into this further. Let's give you a 4-year extension. Okay, so as of right now, doomsday in the United States for vaping is August 8th, 2022. So there you go. That's the way that works. Because nobody, not even the big, I mean, seriously, not even the big players in the vaping industry are going to be able to survive a PMTA. It's not going to happen. Not, maybe there might be some closed pod systems that might make it through. I know for a fact that Philip Morris has developed a product called the Mark 10, which is a pod type system, a closed pod type system, which means you have to buy their proprietary pods to use it. Imagine that. I mean, they're Philip Morris, so of course they're going to be able to afford it. But they've submitted a PMTA. Whether or not it's going to get approved, I don't know. Absolutely, and Aries is absolutely right. Would you have to file a PMTA for a 0 milligram liquid? Good question, Spectro. I like you. Boy, you are asking some awesome questions tonight. I like this. That is a very gray area, actually, Specto, because most of us said right up front, they said, and Specto, please come back next week, because I usually take you guys into the lab and actually make some e-liquid. But this has kind of been a fun wrap session, so I'm really, really awesome. I think it's wonderful that you're here. I want to give you a coupon code before we go. So the regulations actually specifically state that e-liquids that do not contain nicotine are not covered. And then a little bit later on, they specifically state that anything that is reasonably expected to be used with a tobacco product is a tobacco product. So they contradict themselves. Because in the beginning, we all thought, fine, I'll just sell zero milligram liquid. You know, let people figure out how to get their own nicotine, and just sell zero, right? Yeah, it's not that easy, because they specifically say if it is intended to be used in a tobacco product, which, guess what? This is a tobacco product. This is a tobacco product. And my 0 milligram e-liquid is reasonably expected to be used in this tobacco product. Therefore, it becomes a tobacco product. So, yeah. They considered your PMTA for 366 days and is automatically denied. Your product is banned. Actually, Aries, no, they did fix that. That was part of the extension, actually. Gottlieb said in the extension that when he did the extension, that PMTAs that were filed, they would give the proper time. Like, I can't remember how it was worded, but they didn't say that after a year they would just immediately be denied. That was fixed with the extension. Can I sell it as something else? Well, I mean, I could. I could also go to jail for it. I could also have everything seized and be fined out my yin-yang and go bankrupt over it. That's what somebody else was saying to me the other day. They're like, just go underground, go into the black market. I still need to have my higgies. I'm like, well, I mean, yeah, of course we could, but, you can't advertise that you're selling something on the black market, okay? You don't see drug dealers out there putting up their ads for heroin on Craigslist. I mean, it just doesn't work that way. That's news to me because that's their standard book time for any application. I'd have to look it up and I'd have to see exactly what it was, but it was when he announced the extension. He announced that there would be more time given to the PMTAs. But that's just it, though. Nobody's going to file PMTAs. Who do you think is going to file them? Yeah, there's some big players in this business. Okay, absolutely. There are companies that are making millions of dollars a year. Okay, they still can't file the PMTA. Who do you think is going to file these things? I obviously don't use Craigslist. No, I don't use Craigslist. I do know that Craigslist is there's some shady shit going down on Craigslist. Okay. I do know that, actually. I actually had a friend once upon a blue moon who was a prostitute, and she used to advertise on Craigslist. And apparently that's a pretty lucrative place to go if you're a prostitute. If you open up Higgy's Flavor Hut and sell flavors, it is flavors, not e-juice. And, well, Dom Long, actually, that's actually a pathway, really. I mean, I'm allowed to sell concentrates. Nobody's going to stop me from, I'm not saying nobody's going to stop me, but nobody at this point can stop me from just selling concentrates, selling DIY products is actually a very probably very near future thing that will be selling, you know, just DIY components. I can get on Craigslist and get a pound of pot, a few 8-balls, 2 midget hookers, and a RuPaul impersonator to your house in under 2 hours. You paying? You buying? You buying? Because I'm down for that. No, I'm kidding. I'm not. I don't think the FDA had any idea of the vaping monster they would butt up against. Specto, yes and no. I'm going to tell you something. Okay, first of all, and I don't know if anybody else did this. All right. I don't think they did. We don't really have any way of knowing. But the fact of the matter is that Higgies has always been based on the idea of you create your own juice, okay? Once upon a blue moon, we actually even had a customized flavor. You could literally go in, we had all our flavors listed, and you could enter in percentages, right, of what flavors you wanted. And you could create your own flavor, all right? And you could even name it. And I would create a label that had your name on it, okay? I got some creative ones, just FYI. I won't tell you what they are, but I got some creative ones. All right, so people created their own flavor. I'd make it, and I'd send it to them. And people loved it. They said, oh, this is like all the DIY, none of the work. You don't have to buy tools. You don't have to buy flavors. You can just go in, create your own flavor. I'd make it for you, ship it out. It was awesome. Okay, it was great. And because that's what we always based it on. We didn't like going to these websites, or even, there weren't many vape shops around at the time. I've been vaping a long time. But we went and we were pigeonholed. You go to a website and you're pigeonholed. You'd have 6 flavors to choose from, and it was like tobacco, vanilla, cherry, strawberry, and and I was like, well, what if I don't want to vape vanilla? What if I want to vape cherry vanilla? So I started having to buy, I'd have to buy 2 bottles and mix them together, right? And like that's what I would do. So when we started Higgy Cigs, we decided, look, this is what we want it to be. We want you to be able to customize the living crap out of your juice, right? So we created, wasn't that how Gwen, actually Gwen Spluffermint was invented sort of that way. I mean, I don't think that Gwen ever actually placed an order that way. I think that she and I just worked on it together. We worked on it one-on-one because she'd buy a bottle and she'd like say make it like this, and then I'd make it and I'd send it to her, and she was like, nah, it needs tweaking, and so I'd make it again, I'd send it to her, that kind of thing. But I just described smoke tip for that flavor selection. Oh, that's cool. So we were like, okay, we want people to be able to get exactly what they want, right? Because, and you're not only were you pigeonholed with flavors, but you're pigeonholed with, at the time, this was before sub-ohming was a thing. So you'd have like a choice between like 0, 6, 12, 18, and 24 milligrams. It was impressive if you even had a choice of PG-VG ratios, right? Generally speaking, people did about an 80-20, and when I say 80-20, I always put the PG number first. I hate it when people put the VG number first, but that's a discussion for a different time. When I say a ratio, I mean PG/VG, because it's Hill Scientific method that you list a ratio in alphabetical order, but whatever. So I currently vape at 25/75, but at the time, the standard was like an 80-20, and that's what everybody did. You might get an option to go 50-50 maybe, but like that was rare. And so we're like, okay, look, people need the options to build their own e-liquid, okay? Because vaping is a personal thing. Everybody's different. So we offered this website where we allowed people to choose any nic level they wanted. And then Chaos Spectrum is a good mod. Yeah, it is. I've never used one, but yeah, they're pretty cool. So And then we're like, okay, and they should be able to pick any PG-VG ratio they want, and they should be able to pick any flavor they want, or they should be able to combine any flavors that they want to together. Like we should be able to make this product for them. And we started building on that, right? So as of right now, what we have is we have about 219 flavors. We have 18 different nic levels, 12 different PG-VG ratios, 3 different flavor intensities, because you can choose if you want your flavor to be sort of a light flavor, or you want it to be like a nice strong flavor, or do you want it to be like super strong flavor? Like you can choose that, all right? And well, that's cool, Dano. How old are you there, Dano? So when you start multiplying all of those options together, like if you say 219 times 18 nic levels times 12 PG-VG ratios times 3 different flavor intensities times 5 different sizes, you actually come up with about 900,000 options. Okay. So when it came time to register our products, we were like, okay, we can't possibly register all these products. We're going to have to. I'm 18. My birthday is today. I got my vape today. Okay. Well, were you a smoker? And congratulations on switching. So happy birthday. So anyway, we were like, well, there's no way that we're going to register 900,000 products, right? So we started picking and choosing what we're going to do. We started pulling out flavors. I can't. Hang on a second. Okay. All right. So, sorry about that. So anyway, we started pulling out flavors that weren't popular. We started pulling out nic levels that weren't popular. We started pulling out PG-VG ratios that weren't popular, and we got it pared down to about 80,000. So, and we thought, okay, this might be workable, right? But then my husband is an Excel genius. Okay, he knows how to work Excel like nobody's business. And he started doing some programming, and he said, you know what, I could do this. I could fill these forms out, and I could do it with a macro, and I could make this happen. He said, let's register them all. And we did it sort of as a fuck you to the FDA, because we wanted to overwhelm them with the amount of products. We already knew that the rest of the industry was going to overwhelm them with the amount of products they had, okay? We knew that there were going to be, you know, at minimum, even the smallest e-liquid manufacturers out there were going to have several thousand products to register. Most of them have tens of thousand products to register, because you're talking every flavor times every nic level times every PG-VG ratio times every size that they have available. Every single one of them gets a new SKU. So we knew that we were going to, that all the other vaping and all the other e-liquid manufacturers out there were going to have thousands, tens of thousands, sometimes even hundreds of thousands of products to register. But we wanted to overwhelm them and just say kind of fuck you FDA, and go ahead and register all 900,000 of them. And we did. We registered every fucking one of them. So yes, if you go to the Registered Tobacco Products website and you search Higgies, I think it errors out actually. If you just search Higgies, I think it errors out because I think it comes back with too many options. You can't, you have to search for specific flavors, because like every single one of our flavors, I think, ended up being a little over 4,000 SKUs. We did it on purpose. It was a very passive aggressive fuck you. So now, are we going to file a PMTA for 900,000 products? No. Okay, are we going to file a PMTA for one product? No. Okay, but you know what? To bury the FDA in paperwork in the meantime was kind of satisfying. Okay, and now we're about to submit over 700 spreadsheets because of the form that I created. that allows you to associate. Like we could take one recipe and I can associate a couple of thousand products to it because it's all the product always has the same recipe. But because we have 3 different flavor levels, right? We have 219 flavors, 3 different flavor levels. So 219 times 3 is about 700, a little under 700, but about 700 spreadsheets. So yeah, we're about to overwhelm them once again by sending them 700 spreadsheets that have several thousand products associated with each spreadsheet, and we're going to overwhelm the CTP. So that's it. And that was our strategy. Okay. But I have no problem being compliant. I have no problem being compliant with the things that I can be compliant with. Okay. The PMTAs, I can't do. But I will play by the rules. I will play by the rules every step of the way for as long as I can. You know, I'm not trying to. Well, I say I'm not trying to go on a crusade because I kind of am. Yes, the recipe thing is absolutely separate from the registration. Okay, the registration happened last year. The deadline was supposed to be originally June 30th. It got extended to September 30th, and then it got extended again to like October 10th, I think it was, because the FDA site was like down constantly. Right? I know, Aries. I'm with you. I was going to say I'm not on a crusade, but I kind of am on a crusade. Because, I mean, my husband is the president of the Georgia Smoke-Free Association, and we're super, super involved in advocacy. So I am crusading, but I'm not trying to tell the FDA to not regulate us, right? All you have to do is take a look at Halloween-themed e-liquids out there, and it's proof that we need some regulation. There's no question about it. We need some regulation, okay? And people need to play by the rules. There's no question about that, okay? I just don't want them to regulate me out of business because I'm really proud of what we built here. I've been trying to make a fresh watermelon nice and juicy. CFA watermelon alone doesn't cut it. Any ideas of other watermelons or other flavors I can add to it? Do you want it to be a candied watermelon? Because if you want a candied watermelon, it's Loran's all day long. Loran's tastes like the watermelon Jolly Rancher. If you want it to be a more of a natural fresh watermelon, and TFA's isn't cutting it, which is surprising because TFA's is definitely the freshest watermelon I've tasted. Cabela's is very candy-ish, actually. Cabela's is quite candy-ish, actually. I haven't tried Flavor West. Maybe Flavor Art. Flavor Art might be, I haven't tried theirs, actually. I'll be honest with you. I haven't tried Flavor Art's watermelon, but I would bank on them being more of a fresh watermelon before I would bank on anybody else's. If you can't show sales registered with strong proof prior to 8816, it can't be sold legally. This is true. I mean, does it specifically tie to what you submitted for August 8th? Yes. This recipe thing is separate. What happened is the deadline was August 8th. You're not supposed to put out anything new after August 8th, 2016. They gave us until June. Initially, they gave us until June 2017 to get onto their website and register our products with them, all the products that we sell. It was between August 2016 and June 2017 that Gottlieb came into office. And so he said, well, wait a minute, let's give this an extension and talk about this a little bit more. So he extended it for 90 days. So now it was September 30th was the deadline. And everybody was scrambling to get their stuff registered. Then, because they all waited to the last minute, and we did too, because why give them more than we need to? More than we need to before we need to do it. their website was ridiculously bogged down, and it was erroring out, and it was horrible to work with. I actually ended up going to my representative, my Congressman Rob Woodall, went to his office and complained. And that night, I don't know if I had anything to do with it. I'm not saying I did. I'm not saying I didn't. But that very night, Scott Gottlieb announced a 10-day extension because the website was experiencing technical difficulties. Can I submit additional recipes for products under development? No. If it was not on the market as of August 8, 2016, I cannot legally sell them at all. I'd have to have now. Showing proof was a bit of a challenge, okay? Because we thought, what can we do? Is there some way to take a picture of our website and show what all we had, all the options we had, and all the flavors we had? What should we do, right? Because the fact of the matter is there are products, certain combinations of products that I've probably never sold, right? I can guarantee you I have never sold, say, 5 milligram nicotine at 100% PG of every single flavor that I have. I can guarantee that without even questioning it. I can guarantee you that I've never sold that product of any flavor or any size with 5 milligrams of nicotine and 100% PG. However, that product was on the market as of August 8, 2016. So, I'm not asking if you can sell them. I'm asking if the database will accept the submission. I know you cannot sell them. Oh, they'll accept it. Oh yeah, it'll accept it all day long. But if I ever get audited, they're gonna tell me no. Ah, I see what you're saying. Okay. Yeah, it has to. There are TP numbers that are associated with every single SKU number that is registered. A TP number is a number that the FDA issued to us for every SKU. So the FDA issued us almost 900,000 TP numbers when we registered our products. Oh, Cassie, that's your problem. Yeah, use TFA's watermelon at about 15%. Ooh, I'm out of batteries. Okay, it is 10 o'clock, and I can't believe that you guys have had me gabbing for 3 hours now, non-stop. You guys have been awesome tonight, actually, though. I love the questions. I'll admit, I actually love even more that I was able to answer all your questions. I love that you actually asked me questions that I had good knowledge of and that I could answer thoroughly and completely. Specto, if you're still here, I would absolutely love to give you a coupon code to higgysigs.com. I have 2 different coupon codes available. You can either choose 65% off your e-liquid, or you can have a $1 sampler pack. And if you would like one of those, I would absolutely love to give it to you. Because you asked some awesome questions tonight. I love the questions you asked tonight. And like I said, fortunately, you asked me questions that I knew the answers to. Thank you, Doc. It's fun chilling with you guys, too. Please tell me Specto is still here. I hope I didn't miss him or her. No, and I do. I hope I was informative, and like I said, I kind of opened your eyes, because we're not in a good shape, guys. It's not looking good. All right, it's not looking good. Been at VU for just over a year. I have not seen you here, so would you like a coupon code? I would love to give you one. Like I said, 65% off of your e-liquid order or a $1 sampler pack. First time at the live show. Nice to meet you. Is it worthwhile for me to take 45 minutes to pop over? I don't know. Has anybody been over on iVlog? Well, tell me which one you'd like, Specto, because I'll put you down for it, and then I'll give you the link of the Google form to fill out so that we can email you your coupon code. Thank you, Cassie. Has anybody been over to the iVlog site? Because I'll direct everybody over there if they're having fun over there. There is not another show on tonight, so if you want to go check out the fuckery going on over on iVlog, I will send you over there. I know that they would love to see you, Aries. $1 sampler pack. Awesome. I love to hear that. It's really the best way to kind of get your feet wet. All right, so Specto, I'm going to put a link in the room. This is a Google form. Please go to the Google form and fill it out. Your coupon code will be emailed to you. You will have to create an account on our website that will involve you uploading a picture of your ID. But I want to let you know that the file comes directly to us. Me and David are the only ones who see it, and we delete it as soon as we verify your name and your birth date. If you want to cover everything else up on your ID except your name and your birth date, I don't care. There is nothing else on your ID I care about except your name and your birth date. And like I said, I delete it right after I verify it, and then your account is free and clear to shop on our website. So there's the form right there, that Google form. Please click on that form. It's a Google form. Fill it out. Your coupon code will be emailed to you probably Monday, maybe Tuesday, but probably Monday. And yeah, I'm going to get your address one way or another. I don't care about your address, though, really. I care about your birth date and your name, and that's it. To stock it, yeah, I'm definitely taking the time to stock all my customers all across the world. But thank you guys so much for hanging out tonight. Like I said, you guys asked the awesome questions. I'm so glad that I could educate you. I'm so glad that I had all the answers for you. And you guys are just really awesome tonight. We'll get into the lab next week. We'll go make some juice next week because I do stalk you, Aries, but that's different. The item up is a Cassie recipe. So, and it's a pretty good one too, actually. So we're going to have fun with that next week. If we get in, well, we should get into the lab next week. All right. I love you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out tonight. I had a great time, and I hope I entertained you and made you laugh. Maybe you learned something. And I will see you tomorrow right here on VU Live between 4 and 6 for Trench's Funny Farm. All right? I do stock grannies. I love grannies. What's on the docket? It is pineapple, black cherry, culotta, and pomegranate. Sounds tasty. Just like a little bit of coolness to it. Basically like a pineapple and pomegranate thing. So, yeah, that sounds tasty. All right. You guys have a great night. And, oh, let me put the link in the room for iVlog if you guys want to go over there and check them out. Oh, my God. Ah. Mom just walked in and she says hi. All right, guys. Head on over there and join them. And I will see you guys literally on the other side in just a minute. Good night, everybody. I had a great time tonight.
John at the bar is a friend of mine.